What's up, fellas? I love that song. It's freaking badass. Can't believe it's not copyrighted. Mark's going to be a little bit late. I forgot to add him into the title of tonight's stream. But CCFB Garage is going to be joining us here in a little bit. What's up, guys? We're going to have to wait a little bit here. It's going to be a minute before my, what do you want to call it? Where they get pushed out notifications. There we go. It's been a minute. What's up? Who we got in here so far? Talk to me. Tracy, Big T's here. Damn, you are punctual, sir. Did you get your Yanko? Did you get your 24 out? That's gonna be a big one. So our boy won. What? I don't know if I should talk. You think I should talk politics on here? I don't know. I think I got a problem with being shadow banned and all this. You know the problems. I'm actually thinking about moving everything over and actually like posting on X. It's disgusting the reach that YouTube has. And then, if Rumble or somebody comparable would actually come up with like a decent AI or actually put money into learning the demographic of their users, it would be one. YouTube wouldn't have half the monopoly that they do. But Tracy, tell us, bud, did you get your 24 out, or are you wanting to keep that under wraps? I understand if you do, sir. Like I said, I don't know. I just got a notification from Mark here a little bit ago. Said start without him, that he was going to be a couple minutes late here. So our boy won. Am I coming through okay? I turned the volume down because I noticed, like in my other live streams, that speaker starts clipping because my camera. There we go. I don't know if I get the mic too close or whatever, but yeah. So, anyways, I don't know what time Mark's gonna be in here, but yeah, our boy won. So Trump won. It's pretty much. It was. I had to go to bed to get up for work the next day, but when I went to bed, it seemed like it was a pretty. It was in the bag type situation. So I think that's going to be a good thing for us. It's going to be an awesome. Come on. I think it's going to be excellent for the car enthusiast world. Anyhow, the people that are actually interested and want to keep internal combustion engines alive, gasoline burning. Now, I wouldn't say that like I'm going to be very upfront forward, and I'll just say I am not. Did I vote for Trump? Yeah, but I'm not diehard because there's a lot of things like 2A. I'm very I'm kind of big into guns. It's another passion of mine. I don't really express on the channel, but thought about making another one. Maybe someday. But anyways, there's some things that Trump has said in the past, especially to his last presidential term that I got you, brother. That we lost bump stocks under Trump's administration. I know he's talked a lot of negative things about suppressors, so there's some things that I'm not all on board with Trump about. But yeah, I'm a pretty big I'm a pretty big fan of the rest of it. So that's all right, brother. Tracy, I was just asking, did you get your 24 out, or do you not want to talk about it? Because that's cool if you don't. I understand if you don't. That's gonna be that is gonna be. Oh, really? Badass. Okay, made it there. Car made it there Friday, he says. Okay, That's gonna be pretty sick. Hopefully they can get in and out. I've been watching some of those clips that come through on Google on Facebook of some of the finished cars hitting the dyno, and yeah. You think it'll have 1050? I think it'll have more than that. Is that what they're projecting? Is that what you're trying to hit? I thought it was more than 1050. Yeah, there we go. 1150. There we go. Yeah. So we'll see. Um, right now I'm just burning some time. Burning some time, baby. I want to get some more people in here, and like I said, Mark said he was going to be a couple minutes late, so I really hate to discuss stuff and then freaking have to go back and then rediscuss it and everything. So figure we'll just hang out here for a minute. It's been a while. Plus, my channel's so buried now because I haven't been posting or whatever that it's going to take a little bit for the notifications to get out. A lot of people, a lot of the views and everything that come from this are going to be watching the rerun. But yeah, yeah. Hopefully, let me see here. This camera situation is pissing me off. All right. That's what I was saying. Yeah. Yeah. I'll show you. Tracy says my last one dyno at 1055. Yeah. 1150. Fuck. Dude. 1150 horse. Let me see here. Let me just crunch some numbers real quick here. Just want to check. Yeah. 1380 at the crank. That's 20%. That's just 20% right off the top. 1380, man. That's gonna be freaking crazy, bud. That's how many miles a year do you think you're gonna put on that thing? I don't know. 2024, that the last year. I don't know, man. I don't think I'd be driving that thing too much. Simply because it's probably going to be the most valuable year. Yesterday I posted a picture, or I just made a post of some pictures from GM Authority. It was fake. GM said it was a fake. They pretty much came in and said that. I don't know what their deal was, but they threw this rendering out. I don't know if they're testing the waters. I mean, I could see them doing that. Seeing who all's gonna bitch and moan and complain on social media to get a reaction from everybody. But yeah, that that post was fake. But if you kind of looked at the front end, it did have like a Camaro look to it from the side. So I don't know, man. Chrissy, I've had it for a freaking year, 4.9 miles. Had to get it inspected. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. 9 miles when it left. Holy shit. Yeah. 9 fucking miles, man. That's insane. I don't even know. I don't know how you just let it sit there. Wow. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, that 2024 at 1150. I know it's hard telling or whatever, but what do you think the price of those are going to get up to? Because I think that there's going to be a pretty much a general consensus about 2024 being the last genuine year of Camaro. So even if Camaro 7 does come out, if it's EV, nobody's not gonna want, or they're not going to want it. Um, it's just like our girl said. It's going to take decades for people to jump on the EV ban. I'm gonna wait for Mark. I'm gonna wait for Mark till we get in before we get into that. But yes, um, I think that she doesn't understand the whole architecture is just it's not what they think it is, and I think that they're getting a lot of government bucks or government cash to actually subsidize or force it on you, and I don't think they're going to quit. But it's a good thing with Trump coming in. So you excited for the Tracy? Tell us you excited for the new administration to be rolling in here in 60 days or so. I think it's going to be. You didn't get it back yet, did you? Tracy said that I hope to get my 69 Yanko back in a couple weeks. Did they get the Hydro Boost figured out or anything? I know you said, I think the last time we talked, you said that he was going to test drive it. So I've heard they're a little tricky to get dialed in, but yes. But I'm gonna tell you what, I'm excited. I don't know why I'm excited for Trump coming back in. Um, it's kind of why I haven't been posting a whole lot. It's just, man, I tell you what, you say one bad thing, and all of a sudden they're rooting you out of the way. They're burying your channel. They're doing all kinds of crap, um, or so it feels, because it's just like you fight. You feel like you're fighting City Hall sometimes. So it's just like, I, if my channel's buried, what's the point? So if you don't have, so I know that Mark, when I was emailing Mark, I kind of invited him on the show about a week ago, and I asked him, and he said, I don't like to talk politics, and I said, perfect, because my channel's been shadow banned and buried so much, so we'll just do it on mine. How's that sound? Let me see here. Let me get a hold of him here. Do. If he's going to be much longer, I'm just going to get started without him. So what else is there new with everybody else? Are you there's a lot of people getting stuff winterized and put away. Yeah. He still hasn't got a driver yet, huh? Maybe he's getting caught up on everything else in the shop. So I think once you get the kinks ironed out in that 69 Camaro, yeah, that's going to be a badass car. If you're going to drive one, that's the one I would probably drive myself. But hey, whatever. To each their own, right? To each their own. We're coming up on 14:30. If he's going to be any more than 15 minutes late, I'm getting started. When he hit me up, I thought it was just going to be like a minute or two, but okay. Well, all right. Fuck it. Here we go. Okay, guys. So I'm just going to get started without Mark here. So it looks like if you haven't been living under a rock, President Trump is coming back January. Oh, I can't wait to see how things are going to change. There's a lot of things that are going to be coming in, or be happening day one. So I know that a lot of our oil reserves and whatnot, there's a lot that's been happening in the past 3 or 4 years. There's no denying it. Yeah, no matter what side of the fence you're on, I don't care because I've got friends on both sides, and yeah, there's a lot of shady shit happening. A lot of shady shit that's currently happening, and there's a lot of chaos and bullshit that needs to quit, needs to ex-nay. So, anyways, but January, it was in, and I'm going to. Oh shit, I didn't. Give me 1 second, fellas. 1 second here. Um, Let me see here. I'll add it in. Let me take it back out. Let me take it back out. Let me go back in. Okay, so this was after, see, about 5 or 6 months ago, there was there was a lot of news coming down the pipeline about China, or I'm sorry, yes, BYD is the big heavy hitter for China's EV car market. And I know that they were supposed to be moving into Germany, and they were going to be, trying to take over and just dominate the market share there. Um, no surprise, they did, and I guess there's a lot of economists saying that it's going to happen regardless. For here in America, with the tariffs, without the tariffs, it is what it is. So let me just say here, put, actually, fuck it, I'll just give the whole thing. Our good boy Trump, he's planning to slash the Biden fuel economy requirements, and I know the resolution's terrible, so I'll probably just read it to you here. But it says that the EPA has mandates of a limit on the tailpipe emissions falling from 170 grams of CO2 per mile in 2027 down to 85 grams. So that's exactly half, 85 grams in 2032 and later. Now they're saying that Biden was the one that enforced this. Wrong. It was actually our bad boy Barack Obama. This has been pretty much in play for years. This has been a long time coming. Remember the cash for clunkers? I don't know why we were, stepping on the pipeline. Biden did that first day. That was day one. He Now I will say this: a while back, Daniel Mack, the TikToker, I think he started on TikTok. I think he's predominantly mostly on TikTok, but he's the guy who goes, says, "Oh, awesome car. What do you do for a living?" You know, so nursing home Joe Biden, he's sitting in that Corvette or whatever, saying, "Oh yeah, well, he openly admitted." And this was like when the clip was playing as full. And I'm responsible for electric vehicles in this country. And I was like, yes. So I went back. I was trying to think. I went back and I was trying to get a clip for us to play. And looks like old Daniel Mack edited that part out. So, but anyways, the EV, yes, that was Big Dog Joe Biden. Um, there's a lot of money. I know Tracy. Tracy says, "Follow the money. Follow the money." You follow the money back. Boom. That's where it's at. So I know I've got a video here, and I'll play here in a little bit. I got two video clips, and then we'll get out of here. Let me put it back in. So anyways, they're gonna. He said that they pretty much had these standards, or the EPA had set these mandates for all auto manufacturers, a limit of what we're in currently. There's 170 grams of CO2 per mile. And then after 2027, they wanted to get it down to 85 grams of CO2 emissions per mile. And this is going to be the average across the whole lineup. And then they're saying that when Trump talks about the EV mandate. Effectively, the car companies will have a mixed uh, lineup of electrification and internal combustion engine. So, pretty much, let me see here. Let me kill that one. Let me go back out. Still. Ho ho ho!
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Sorry I'm late.
You're all right. You're all right. So pretty much, we were just getting started here. I didn't know how late you were going to be, so I kind of jumped into it.
I had to take care of something, but
No, it's okay. You good?
I'm good.
All right, all right. So I guess we'll put that on pause for a minute. Is there a? I guess you'd be a good one to ask because boots on the ground in the old Canada. Is there been any ripples talks of Trump's victory?
Not yet.
Are people just like, Trump won? Who gives a shit? On with life.
We're not. Well, so let me start with this.
Okay.
When you sent me the email and said, "Hey, let's do this," I'm like, "Yeah, no problem."
Yeah.
And I said to you, I don't. There's two things that I don't openly share, and it's not because I don't want to. It doesn't lead to good things, and that's politics and religion. And listen, I have a lot of friends who will disagree with certain things, or I will disagree with certain things. The thing is that I still respect them because they're my friends, right? Just because we have a difference of opinion, right?
Yep.
We haven't seen a lot of ripple yet up here, and I don't. It'll probably take some time. I don't expect to see. I don't expect to see any
big changes.
Any big changes until after January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it. You're
It will
right.
be interesting to see how he changes things.
Yeah.
With the EV mandates and all that, because I know he's not a big fan of it. So
no, he's gonna kill it. He's gonna kill the mandate. Is what he says.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good news for us. Listen, I'm with you as far as it not being smart to talk about religion or politics, but I want to talk about everything that involves the automotive landscape and what it's gonna
and that's why we're here.
Yeah, free up. I honestly think that this is gonna be breaking the chains of the bullshit we've had. I was just catching people up with their how pretty much as of right now they started. I can't remember the year they started, but right now we are in the era of 170 grams of CO2 emissions per mile. And by the end of 2027, or I'm sorry, up to 2027, 2028 and beyond to 2032, they wanted to get it down to 85 grams, which is exactly half. And that's, I think, will be, I don't know how you feel about it. Mark's gone now. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Good show, people. Good show, guys. Yeah. That's how you take care of business. No.
I don't. That was weird. It just gone.
Dude, I'm telling you what. StreamYard, I don't know what's going on with it. How do you like StreamYard?
No, not really.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's why I've been using Restream, because
is it better?
I found not lately, but I found StreamYard very laggy.
Yeah. Yeah.
and um, it would say you got low signal, this and
Shit.
that, and meanwhile,
What's that?
it's not the internet signal. Like just boom, you were gone, right? So,
Yeah.
uh,
Anyhow,
they for anybody who has StreamYard and is on YouTube who don't know this, we I think we pay the core package or whatever. It's not.
oh,
I think it for us it's like $100 a year, $120 a year.
really?
Our renewal comes up in like next week, and it's going to go from $8 a month to $36 a month.
That's the basic bitch package.
Yeah,
And that's why I told him. I was like, that's why we're cutting the live streams, because they ramp the prices up, and
I
it
still use
was
free ones, Andrew. I mean, my wife and I both have channels, right? So it makes sense for us to
mhm,
have. But
absolutely.
we've just made the decision that like I'm not, you
You
know,
you mean the YouTube? You don't have the YouTube bucks,
the what?
the big YouTube bucks, because people think we make millions off of these fucking
Oh
channels.
yeah, well yeah. Um, so I mean, the stream that you and I were on last, we were on Restream. That was free, and it was fine,
Oh, okay,
right?
okay.
So,
I'm gonna
anyways,
check
all
it
right,
out.
carry on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyways, they were going to be cutting the emissions down to 85. Trump's going to cut that. He told us he's going to come. Day 1 or 2. There's a bunch of bullshit that he said that he was going to correct. There was a laundry list. But as far as the automotive world, what's going to pertain to us, everything. That's what he's going to step on was the EV mandate. Let me get back in here. You can pretty much, and all this is on GM Authority, because there's a lot. I think there's a lot of worries, and as you can go here, boom, he's going to kill. That's another thing I wanted to touch on, was not only just the mandate or the production requirements for emissions and everything. He's going to stop the free tax credit. So a lot of people are being incentivized, because I mean, let's face it, probably, what would you say, Mark? 75, 85% of the market share for the just people that buy cars in general are just A to B. They just want to be able to fit their family in, something that is easy on the wallet to maintain and safe to haul their family around. Would you
No, the
agree? Or
total sales last year for all vehicles,
all vehicles?
uh,
Seven.
the electric market share was 8%.
Well, yes. Hey, that's awesome, actually. But I'm just saying, would you say the average market share of the people, that their intentions are practicality?
100%.
They just want something safe, cheap to maintain, reliable. They can haul their family around in.
I think a lot of it is the unknown. And here's the way I look at it, okay? I'm not
Unknown
against
of what?
huh?
Of what? Unknown of what? What do you mean?
Unknown with the EVs.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not against electric cars. I live in a small town. Now up until recently I've just changed. I'm going into a new job, but up until recently I lived 6 minutes from work, right?
Okay.
I could boot around all week on an electric car
Hmm.
and not have to charge it. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
in this environment, it would work good for me. If I'm going out of town and stuff, I live in a smaller town and then I live north of the city, you know, the charging's very sporadic. Like my boss had to come from the city to about 2 hours north of here. And he said that he couldn't make it in one shot. He had to stop halfway and charge. And he has a
Ooh.
Tesla, right? And the problem up here is along with some of the border states in the north, we get really cold weather and it
Oh
drops
yeah.
the battery drops 30%,
Oh,
30,
I don't even. Yeah. It's
35.
dramatic.
So
Yeah.
I think the technology still, it was like TVs, right? Like, what the TV did when this, the LCD, LED TVs came out, I remember buying my first LCD TV. It was like, well, first I remember the last tube TV I bought was 36 inches, and it took two people to get it in my basement. And then when I bought the new technology,
Yeah.
I carried it down with one handle, and it took two guys to get the old one out of the basement.
Yep.
The LCD TV was like $1,500.
Yep.
At the time. And now, it's just the technology has still got a long ways to go. A lot of it is uncertainty, right? Now, the way I look at it is somebody's like, oh, well, the batteries are 10, 15 grand. And I'm making the case for EVs. I'm just simply giving you both sides of the story. Okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
Listen, been around. I've been supporting the car that we support for all my life. I have a pickup truck that's well over 400 horsepower. It's it's not like I'm pro EV and gas is bad. I'm just giving you both sides. Some people say, oh, the battery's 10, 15 grand. Well, if the motor goes in my truck and I got to buy a new one, it's almost 9 grand for the motor. And the way everything's built today, it's not a far stretch. So
that's why I'm going back.
I think if somebody wants to buy an EV and enjoy it, great. I mean, listen, I've considered buying an EV just to boot around town here but then I have to spend more money upgrading, put an electric charger in, and I'm just, like whatever. I'm not saying there's not a place for it. I think there's a place for it, but there's a place for it. And they're not selling for a reason because a lot of people don't have the confidence in them. So until, automakers can get the confidence up and get the prices down,
and
it's not going to fly.
No. Let me just make a point here as far as my car goes. And the way that I want to get around town and my thing is just like with GM just getting caught selling our information to insurance companies. It's more of I feel like I'm walking into a trap, and I feel like a lot of America anyways. That's what I'm seeing. Social media, the news, blah blah. I don't know about outside. I don't hear a lot of news or speak outside of the U.S. But my thing is just like if they have the ability to obtain the information, blowing stop signs, speeding, where you're at, how often you go, there's really no need for them to have that information unless they're going to use it. And in my mind, I don't trust them. I don't. If they're not going to do anything with the information, then there's really no need for you to obtain it. And it's like I kind of just want to back away.
I don't want to be going down the rabbit hole, but
yeah,
they've been saying that for years. Look at OnStar.
Yeah,
right. They were caught selling that information to insurance companies.
Yeah, Yeah, that was pretty much a tipping point to where I was just like, okay, I now I have tangible proof I can't trust you, because that for forever, and just as well as I do, Mark, that I was hearing rumors about them listening or eavesdropping or what I mean, but
every day, but
yes,
hey, again, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yep. You have to go in and change your settings on an Android phone. Why do you think you get specialized ads on your phone?
Yes.
You try it.
It's just coincidence, Mark. It's just a coincidence.
I don't care. Search whatever you like.
Yep.
Search for a product. And I guarantee you that unless you've turned it off and you open Facebook, at some point you will see an ad about something you've searched.
Or related to.
Right?
Yep.
I think Tracy brought up a good point there and says, I would prefer a hybrid instead of an EV myself. Um, Toyota was instrumental in doing that, and I think that's why they've been so successful. I think it's something that the legacy automaker should have done. Is instead of going to push, I think a lot of that is too, right? Is that a lot of us, we're all consumers, and we like choice. We
Yep.
don't like it when something's forced on us, right?
Yep.
And between the government and saying, and it's not just your government, it's our government too, right? We want to do this by 2030, right? If the legacy automakers had to come out and said, "Hey, we have an EV," and there's nothing wrong with the EVs. GM's been making good good hybrids for years. Sorry, not EVs. GM made hybrids, 15 years ago. The Tahoes and the Tahoe. I mean, they're still out there. You look at an '08 Tahoe hybrid.
Yep.
The battery's pushed on it, but it's got a 6-liter motor in it. It'll still run perfectly well. But
Yeah.
when that hybrid battery, and the hybrid batteries aren't as bad or expensive because they're not as big, so they're not as expensive to replace. And I think that's what you're seeing. Certainly, when it comes to our stuff, the GM starting to pivot now and go, yeah, you know what, we're going to start looking at hybrid.
No, I'm sorry. I was laughing at Tracy's comment there.
And then Tracy goes on to say, you don't have to plug them in and charge them.
Yeah.
Well, you can get plug-in hybrids, or you can get just regular hybrids, right? I think the plug-in hybrid is a good option because it gives you the best of both worlds if you want really extended range, right?
My thing is take the E-Ray for instance, right? That car is fast and it is going to be something to mess with. But here's the thing. Just like anything else, stuff breaks over time. And now since you've just doubled the power plant, now you have to have, batteries to replace, motors to, it's just more stuff to go bad. And in my mind, I'm just hearing dollar signs
Right.
changing. You know what I'm saying?
Wouldn't you like to know? Says the GM hybrid was a flop and it only got better miles per gallon than the naturally aspirated version. That was GM.
Which hybrid? Which hybrid?
The Tahoe.
Oh,
that was kind of GM's entry into
I didn't follow it.
Right. So could it have been better? Absolutely. But, it allowed them to get into it. Was I didn't know
1 mile per gallon. What the fuck is that?
But I'm just saying, I was using the point that, the GM's not new to hybrids. They've had them out for a while, right? Now,
Everybody has.
Could they have? Well, I don't know why they used a 6-liter in a hybrid. I don't know if that was because it had to be a bigger engine to power the generator. That seems relevant to me, but I don't know. So,
my tuner Justin White just went on. Believe it was an employee of Cletus McFarland's. His Bogetti had a podcast, and Justin White was on there talking about these. What is it called? Edison cars.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much 4 electric motors, 1 motor per wheel, and just a little tiny gas engine. And all that it does is it runs at a set RPM, and it's like a alternator. It just charges the batteries. Mm-hmm. And it barely sips on gas, so it's really efficient, and the car never runs out of juice. Now, why auto manufacturers haven't taken this route, I don't know. Just like you were saying, I don't follow SUVs. I don't really care about them. To me, that's like any other A to B car. It's not my forte. It's not my thing. So I don't really follow it. So I kind of wish I would have, simply because knowing what's coming to as far as the automotive world now, I wish I would have did my homework on it. But yeah, that really doesn't. I mean, in the economical world or in the practical world, 6-liter with a hybrid. How many motors did it have, Mark? 1, 2?
It was
Was it like the E-Ray? Was it?
No, it was just a single motor.
Was it?
Just
Okay.
regular drivetrain.
Yeah, see that to me doesn't make any
It was
sense.
very primitive, not like what we see today.
Right.
Right.
So, I live and learn. Maybe they'll switch things up. I don't know. But like I said, with Trump coming in and stomping on that, I think that this is going to. I did have a couple videos. Do you want to?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of wanted. I had two videos, and I did hear about BYD. Have you heard anything up there in Canada? Let me add this.
I haven't seen anything. I mean, I've seen them on YouTube, but
Canada. So the the rumor mill right now is Canada made a deal with Mexico,
right.
and
Yeah,
they
I've been
let.
following this.
What you have been?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Because
so is
Trump's
this
going to want to redo that North American free trade deal.
okay?
So there's
So
a lot of pressure on Canada right now because Canada is trying to keep Mexico included.
excluded or included?
Included. Canada wants to keep Mexico included, I believe, from the last time I remember watching anything about it.
It says, well, dude, you can't, you can't believe everything here. But it says Canada's provincial leaders want a free trade deal with the U.S. that excludes Mexico. So I was kind of wanting to ask you about it, see what you had been hearing up
Now,
there,
I
because
remember watching something about a week ago, and maybe
okay,
I kind of that does make sense, and maybe I got it backwards.
well, what we heard down here was Trump threatened a 200% tariff tax if BYD actually built a plant in Mexico, because they were going to build a plant in Mexico, build the cars down there, ship them up here to sell them.
Yeah.
So
BYD truck.
what?
Have you seen that BYD pickup truck?
I haven't.
Oh, it's pretty cool. It's I think that personally, I think that so it's about 40,000 US. Somebody exported one up to the US. I was watching it on TV,
Okay.
and somebody exported one up, and I think it was about 40 grand. They said, and I'm like 40 grand, and that still seems pretty high for something
It does, doesn't it?
that's made. It's but made in Mexico.
Let me. Can I play this clip?
Yeah, give her.
This feeds right into it here. Take us out.
China has become the world's largest auto exporter.
$9,200 equivalent US dollars.
Chinese automakers are going to come here eventually, and they're going to do it regardless of if there's a tariff or not.
40 years ago or so, the Chinese auto industry barely existed. Today, the country makes enough cars to supply half the world.
I call it the Great Godzilla. The world has never seen an auto industry of this size, scale. This is a giant machine just getting ramped up.
And it has its eyes on the United States, which, thanks to China's rise, is now the second largest car market on the planet. There are no Chinese car brands for sale in the US at the moment, although a few other ones, like Volvo, Polestar, and Lotus, are Chinese owned. But insiders say it's only a matter of time. The country has been ramping up exports to offload overcapacity. Surveys indicate a large share of shoppers, especially younger ones, would be happy to buy a Chinese car, despite concerns over privacy, etc. But not everyone shares the enthusiasm. President Biden slapped Chinese automakers with stiff tariffs, effectively doubling the price of a Chinese export EV, which can otherwise be at least as cheap as $11,500. Within
All right, I'm gonna.
CNBC. It was pretty good.
Okay, I want to break it up there simply because copyright, but it's a very good example of fact and fiction as far as like what we hear down here. I never heard of, and if somebody in the chat correct me if I'm wrong, I never heard of Biden imposing any tariff on Chinese automotive manufacturers. I could be wrong, but
Yeah, 100% tariff, I think.
yeah. Well, so I mean, I could be wrong. I haven't heard of anything. They were saying that there was going to be 100% in 2024, but they're not selling cars here. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. But the BYD is supposed to be some kind of giant, because you heard in the very beginning of the clip $9,800 for a car.
Mhm.
It now, I haven't done my research on BYD or whatever, just because I did EV world and I've got my hands full on other things. Are these is BYD the giant, or is the only Chinese auto manufacturer?
Apparently, I don't know a lot of it, but for what I followed with it, there are one of the biggest.
Okay. So is there others in China that are like where we have GM,
I think
Ford,
there's a couple.
Dodge?
There's two. I think there's two or three others from. Again, I don't follow it much either, but
Yeah.
the videos that I have watched, I think there's 2 or 3 others that are just as big. There's like 4 big Chinese auto manufacturers that control the market in China.
Okay.
Aside from, GM sells a lot of cars in China, but
Mhm.
I'm talking strictly Chinese automakers, right? The problem that we have with not selling cars is not, it's because of greed, right? It's because of greed.
Yep.
And you're starting to see
100%.
you're starting to see the legacy automakers backpedal because they realize that they can't sell $120,000 Jeep Wagoneers.
Ooh.
I was watching a video the other day and they were showing about how GM's market share is going up, and I can't believe what the stock price in GM is right now compared to GM and Ford.
Yeah.
It is almost double what GM and Ford is.
Yeah. I have another video clip.
Now, if you go to look and buy a Suburban versus, let's say Suburban, Grand Wagoneer, and what's the other big one? The Expedition. The Suburban is cheaper than the other two.
It's still too much.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, but that's why you're seeing GM winning the battle. But you're seeing all 3 of them starting to backpedal now. And I've always said, you know what, you like, and I hate saying that because saying what I'm about to say, goes against what I say in other videos when I tell guys, you know what, if you want the car, go buy it. But if you don't want to pay the price, don't support them. Don't buy the car. Like if you're not happy with the sticker price on the windshield, then don't buy it.
I think tonight's stream, I'm just talking cars in general. And as we all know, enthusiast cars or performance cars is probably like 2%, 3% of total sales.
It's slow.
Yeah. Yeah. my chair does that too.
Oh, sorry, Tracy. It's a bad habit of getting in this chair.
No, my chair. See, when I'll be typing on my computer like this, so the springs get wore out my chairs, so I continuously have to buy new chairs. He just giving you shit.
No, it's funny because it reminds me of
what
another guy that follows my channel. I follow his. He was doing a live stream for a cruise, and he kept moving the camera on the tripod, and every time he'd move it, it would be like. So,
it's told you.
It's all good.
Told you. He's fucking ribbing you. I love it.
It's all good, buddy.
He's on. I like it.
I didn't think you guys could hear it. I was just like, oh, okay. Apparently, you can hear it.
That's a badass microphone you got. Apparently. No,
it's a what is this thing? It's a blue snowball. I forget who makes it, but
yeah, I don't know.
It's a
oh damn.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Free plug. Yeah. There you go. No, tonight's stream was when I'm talking the landscape, cars in general, as a whole. SUVs, four-door sedans, coupes, sports car, all of it. So would you
But
like
you
to know,
look
says
at,
if we would
uh,
buy them. That's why performance sales are low, I think. The thing is the MSRPs are too high in general. And that's where the Camaro payment I have, US dollars, is $1,362 and change a month.
yeah,
That's too much.
Yeah.
I believe it's too much. And I had to structure it that way because it was the worst time in COVID. I didn't know it was the worst time. Could have got better, could have got worse. I knew it was a crapshoot at that point.
Well,
But I had to structure it that way to cap the greed at the dealership level.
well, so here's the thing, right?
What?
There are many people, I forget what the percentage is, but it's pretty high.
For what?
Of car payments that are. The average car payment is like $800 a month, $900 a month.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you might be okay when you go to sell that thing because of what it is. But there are many people who have SUVs and pickup trucks with that monthly payment that are probably 15 grand upside down on their vehicles.
5 years ago, it was a mortgage down here. That was a mortgage payment. I mean, you could easily buy a house. Now they're saying just over the past 4 years, coincidence? I think not. Over the past 4 years, the price of the average house has doubled. It's went from like 200 it was just a tick over $200,000 for the average American home. Now it's like $426,000 for the average, the same house, $426,000.
So we bought this house in
I've heard Canada's just kills you.
August of 2019.
Yes.
Just like 8 months before the pandemic. And
Mhm.
it peaked. I could have sold this house in 2021.
Yeah.
For 3 times what I paid for it. Now it's come down a little bit, but it's still.
That's a wild swing, brother.
It's still. I could sell this house tomorrow for double what I paid for it in 5 years.
What do you think's driving that?
Demand. They say foreign buyers. I don't know that I buy foreign buyers, but maybe.
We have people. We have China buyers wanting to come over and buy our property.
I will tell you, there is
Farms.
commercial property right down the street from me
Mhm.
that's owned by a Chinese company. So maybe it is true.
Oh man, I just caught your profile picture. Yeah, that's awesome. Mr. Potato Head's ass. I like it. What happened to the 1LE, bud? Oh, that's right. You got rid of it. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Now, Tracy, I mean, you might be okay. I mean, yeah, 2000
Shit, BlackRock. Don't get me started.
2000 over MSRP is nothing. I mean, you probably got off easy. But you'd probably be able to get that money back. You know, guys that are buying trucks and SUVs, you know, they were paying. Well, we know there's guys that bought Camaros during the pandemic that were
talking about
$20,000 over MSRP.
$8,000 over.
Where'd you go?
What's that?
I think we lost Andrew.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear? Okay. Yeah, there was a glitch. First, my screen bugged, and then I swear, StreamYard. If we do this again, we might have to do a restream. I'm gonna try it.
It's laid out a little differently, but it's not that bad.
Nah. Tracy paid $2,000 over. And I was talking to him on the phone back and forth when he was buying this car, and he got cornered. And it was this is the 2024 that he's sending off to SVD. It actually just landed there Friday to get turned into a Yanko. So,
oh, nice.
He had to have a 2024, and it had to be, that car. So
Tracy, it has the ankle package.
yes, it just got there Friday, so 3 days ago. So he should have it back. I don't know, Tracy. What do you think? Christmas, that'd be a hell of a Christmas present. So I think it was just under 170,000.
Wow.
US, yeah, for Camaro, yeah. So, but I think what he just got done telling us in the beginning of the stream, 1,150 wheel.
Yeah,
is what they're projecting to hit. So, but yeah, no, the prices of the cars have just went it skyrocketed through the roof. I think that, and I do have a clip loaded in here. I don't know if we're going to get to it or whatever because we're covering a lot of ground really quick. But they pretty much came out in 5 months ago and said that if they have to sacrifice volume, production, cars on the freaking lot, if they have to sacrifice that for markup or actual,
they've already made
they
it.
will.
It's about profit now. It's not about moving metal.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Affordability is out the window now. Like I don't know if you know this. I don't even know if you know this. I have another channel that I started, and I sort of cover a lot of big automotive stuff, but not.
Okay.
It's non-Camaro stuff, right? And the affordable cars are just not there anymore. And
no,
I still
and they don't care.
No, they don't. I still have my wife's daily driver, a 2013 Sonic. And a great little car. You can get it with a turbo, without a turbo. I got it without the turbo. 1.8 naturally aspirated, 140 horse.
Mm-hmm.
It was 21 grand out the door. And when I did
what year was that?
To today, it's like 28 grand. So 28's the new affordable, apparently, but they don't, I mean, that's why they can't keep tracks on the lot, because now the sad part is that my Sonic's built in the US, but the tracks aren't. They're built in South Korea. And then not take away from the car, it's still a good car. Mm-hmm. That South Korea plant is a very good plant.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not, and I'm saying if you are open to seeing what other plants do, that South Korea plant is a very good plant for building cars, but it's just not built. It's not made in the US, and it's got a tiny 3-cylinder turbo in it, which for longevity, it's not really going to last, but it's affordable.
But it's
the problem is that, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound like it's going to come off like an asshole thing to say. And I'm just going to put it out there. The plant workers deserve to be paid the best they can make. I don't think that for 1 second, but when UAW steps in and gives them those increases, we are all naive to think that these automakers are not going to raise prices because of it. They're not going to, absorb that loss of profit.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, not at all. No.
And what pisses me off is that you see something built in Mexico, like the Blazers. The Blazers are built in Mexico, and they are still up here 55 grand, 60 grand on a high-end one for something that costs way less to make. So if you're going to build something in Mexico, my opinion is it should be cheaper. And I'm not promoting it being made in Mexico. I've owned one vehicle made in Mexico, and lucky enough for me, it was a decent vehicle, which was my Avalanche. You know,
Okay, so can I ask you a question? If
Mm.
it was made in Canada, would you be okay with paying more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My 5th gen was made in Canada.
Yeah. 4th gen was made in Canada, Ontario.
Right. No, 4th gen was made in Quebec, Montreal.
Yeah.
The 5th gen was made in Ontario. And
Was the
you know,
4th gen wasn't on? Okay.
no, it was made in Montreal.
Okay.
Made in Canada, but just made in Montreal. Now, some of the pickups, for those who don't know, you can buy the heavy duties and the heavy duties and 2500s, some of them, and some of the 1500 crew cabs are made in Ontario. So if you look at your VIN, right, if it starts with a 1, it was built in the US. If it starts with a 2, it was built in Canada. If it starts with a 3, and they're built in all three, they're built in all three countries.
Do they have a sticker in the door jamb? Because I know the one says
it does well. But the easiest way without even opening the door jamb is look at the VIN sticker. If the VIN starts with a 1, it's built in the US. If it starts with a 2, it's built in Canada. And if it starts with a 3, it's built in Mexico.
Interesting.
Now the Mexico pickup trucks have a lot of problems. I don't know what I've read tons of reports about the rear ends being sloppy in the Mexico trucks. It's like when they put the rear ends together, the allowances aren't as tight as they are from the US and Canada trucks, and they're finding that some of the bearings in the rear ends in the Mexico trucks are a lot more sloppy.
Interesting.
I thought that all the rear ends were assembled in one plant and shipped to different, but I'm just telling you what I read. So
That makes sense to me that they would have everything assembled. Well, sourced from. I'll put it like that.
but
Sourced from.
now, I mean, it's not cheap building cars up here either. I would think that it would cost GM I would think that it cost GM more to build cars and trucks up here than it would down there.
Skydog, what's up, buddy? I was just give him a shout out here real quick. What is the? It says, "Damn, I missed a bunch." What's a Zuzu? I don't know what that is, sir. I'll think about it here.
It's referring to your car.
Oh. Not yet. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Mark. Where were you?
No. It's your show, buddy. Go ahead.
No. It's all good. It's all good. That's interesting. It shows the shallow depth of knowledge I have as far as like normal cars go. It's interesting to learn all these things because I mean, just like as you would say, the rabbit hole is freaking endless on those. My thing is, and I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I like beans.
We knew it was coming.
I don't spill beans.
We knew it was coming.
Full of protein and fiber, man. You got to keep those motherfuckers right where they're at. But the MSRP, it's interesting that, and I asked the question of would you pay more if it was made in Canada, because the thing is with these tariffs, that's kind of the more I read and the more.
Well, I don't think we'll see the tariffs that other countries will because for a multitude of reasons.
You said again
because I'm not heavy into the politics side and that, but
right.
I know the US wants our dairy.
Wants your what?
They want more of our dairy export.
Could be. in oil.
So, anybody who's smart's not going to really play games with Canada because there's too much at stake for both of us, right?
Yeah.
Personally, whatever. If they want to play games in Mexico, it doesn't affect me. I don't think it affects me. Nor do I care.
Could.
It could, but most of whatever we're looking at is coming out of the U.S.
Well, that's what they say. They're threatening these tariffs with is to raise whatever that $9,000 BYD car. They want to whatever it would cost to make here in the States or in Canada or said country.
Well, Canada doesn't want it either. Canada wants what the U.S. wants. That's from what I've seen, right? They don't want BYD here either because we already pay 30% more for our stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's the exchange is like 32% on the American dollar.
Like my truck today up here is 89,000 new.
Whatever happened?
74 down there.
So can I ask you a question? Like 10 years ago, not even 7 years ago, 7 years ago, the plain Jane plastic floor, roll down windows, V6, no air conditioning, maybe power steering. What would that work truck? Because that's what Chevrolet calls it, a work truck package. What would that have cost? 25,000?
No, it wouldn't be that low. I'm trying to think what we paid for. So, okay, so to put it in perspective, so my truck is almost 10 years old. It's got like no miles on it, but
yeah,
it was my father's truck and I got it off him. Okay.
Yep. Sure.
It's a Lariat F-150 and it was up here. It was 65 and change.
What year?
2015.
Okay.
That truck today is 89.
How did it spike so high so fast?
Well, inflation and greed.
I'm gonna go with greed.
Inflation's part of it. Greed's the other part of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I know we just bought a work truck 2 years ago, and I think we paid $56 for it. And that same truck today is over 60, 65, 64. And
I think
that is a 2500 Chevy 2500 Silverado 4x4, 8-foot box, regular cab, right? LT package.
Are we at the tipping point where people say enough's enough and I'll just fix what I got or I'll take a look at the used market and
I mean, if you watch any of the car channels, I mean, I watch a few of them. Some of them, I know some of the guys well. If you get Brandon from Car Questions Answered, he does a lot of that analysis and coverage. And
sure.
Yeah, people are holding on to their cars.
I think it's a smart move. I think it's great. I mean, I think it's time for people. Part of me kind of wonders if this is it's by design to get stockpile built back up on the lot, but part of me thinks that would be.
Well, I don't know what you guys are seeing down here. We're already seeing 0% back again on something.
Oh my God! Yeah, no, we're not. No,
we're seeing 0% on 72 months on pickup trucks. If he was smart, he'd buy a Firehawk. But
that's it. The thing is I've been looking around, maybe with the intent to buy something here, and they're not budging any. They're saying the price I'm asking is the price I want, and that's the price of the car, and um, that's shocking. You got, but see, the thing is, also I've heard the Bank of Canada's cutting rates, and the economy's booming up there, and they're you know what I mean. They're doing real good, and
Yeah, it's doing okay. I wouldn't say it's doing the greatest, but it's doing okay. I mean, the business I'm in, I'm in the supply business, so like so we're part of the construction, right?
okay,
And we for months it's been very up and down.
yeah, I've heard the
A
housing
lot of
market.
people now you get a year in push where people want stuff done, so they're calling in their contractors, and now we're seeing a big influx of orders because customers want their renovations done. They want the new kitchens and they want the new pot lights in the kitchens. And I'm in the electrical
Mhm.
supply business, right? So, but it's very up and down. You have a couple of good days and you have a quiet day. It's doing okay, right? They started dropping the
Yeah,
interest rates up here too, and it's kind of helped a little bit, right?
yeah,
People are still buying cars. Like I said, we're seeing 0% for 72 months, at least on pickup trucks.
man, that's
You
insane.
know, the used market is still high. Like we're still 8.9%, 9.9%. Like that's so because they're trying to move inventory, that the 0% is helping, right?
Right.
Um,
Let's see here. I just wanted to add this in here. This is down here. Their current offers.
like you see that Equinox, that blue Equinox there,
Yes. Yep.
3 of them on my local lot, and they are $55,000 each. Now they're loaded. Don't get me wrong; they are. One of them is that gray color. They are loaded, but
See,
55
that's
for a mid-sized electric SUV is way too much.
so they got yeah. Yeah, I agree. Let's see here. Silverado here. 1750 customer cash. I haven't seen that in a long time, man.
1.9 for 5 years.
Yeah, yeah. That's I actually think that's actually pretty decent for down here.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'll just tell you the market, they're really just trying to just beat you down for every nickel that they can get. They do not care. They've openly come out and said they don't care. And as a matter of fact, um, just thought of that as far as profits go. Uh, with Trump coming in and squashing that EV, because see, you would automatically qualify for instead of 1750, you come down here and buy an EV, you're gonna get I think it's like $10,000 off. Boom. And then you get another tax rebate when it's comes time to do your taxes. So you're almost getting paid to take a car, you know what I mean? Or the old day pricing is kind of in effect for EV, so it's a high incentive. So once that's gone, I think the EV market's dead here. I really do, but it's just my opinion.
Well, I will say that. So we're seeing that Chrysler's working on a new variant of bringing back the Hemi,
Yeah,
because the Hurricane motor is just not popular, and
no
it
way.
it has its own problems too, right?
What? It's not popular?
Now,
What? Oh my god! Who could have saw
I
this
also
coming?
know on the Ford side. Now,
Yep.
I'm not seeing this on a GM, but on the Ford side, Ford is not allowing dealers to order. They're only allowing dealers to order a certain amount of trucks with the 5 liters in them. They have to take so many EcoBoosts, and then they're allowed to get. So they have to get, like, say, I don't know what the number is, but they have to order a majority of their order has to be EcoBoost motors in the trucks, and then they can order a couple of V8s.
So I guess they don't even have to mess with allocations anymore. Maybe trucks, because trucks just aren't selling here because they're $100,000. But are they? Are that that's the orders, or is that the allocations that the manufacturers
That's
just
what
saying
the
you're
dealers
going
are
to get?
order.
Okay. Okay. Wouldn't you like to know? Says depends on where you go. I get this a lot. I get this a shit ton. Um, I never come across the deals, or I never see these deals. But I'll be honest with you, I don't really look a whole hard. But since I got roughly 8,700 off my AT4, that's impressive. 10K off of Denali, yeah, but those AT4s are pretty nice, and I'm actually amazed you got that much off to begin with. But I mean, honestly, do you think that maybe if COVID never hit, do you think we wouldn't be dealing with this problem?
It's possible. I would say a probability of yeah.
I've wondered that for a long time. If yeah, I
You're going
mean,
to see that in different states, right? So
what's that?
you're going to see, the states with a higher demand for trucks and stuff. You're
Yeah,
going to see a smaller discount.
yeah, but I think people just go to the highest. They just Google boom, 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 the highest volume dealership, and that's where I'm going to go. You know what I mean? COVID, yeah, that's another rabbit hole I don't want to touch just tonight. But
Well, it's true. I mean, it's a proven stat.
more millionaires were made within that short window of time than there were in the past, 20, 25 years, I think they said. So, yeah. Yeah. There's another pump going right now, as a matter of fact. AT4. Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I
AT4.
will say this, and this is just my opinion. This is not fact.
Hit it.
I think if you're looking to upgrade, whether it be, performance car or just everyday car or whatever,
Mhm.
and I'm surprised it's taken this long, but
Yep.
I thought for sure that we'd see an earlier phase of this when, all the government handouts happened, and then up here you had to pay it all back.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I thought there'd be a mass exodus on people losing cars, and, because there's a lot of people that are upside down in their cars. I don't know what the stat is, but it's pretty high. So
Do you know?
if you're looking for something, that's why the auctions have become popular now, because people's cars are getting repoed and they could buy them cheaper. Right.
Do you know how many videos I've seen of people trying to dump these new Hummer EVs, and they're 80, 90, $100,000 in the red?
Yeah. Well, and it's like for anything, like any pickups, whatever, right? Like if you bought that vehicle in COVID or during the pandemic,
Yep.
not only are you upside down, and mix that with a slow economy,
Yep.
it's not a great recipe, right? So if you're looking for something,
Absolutely
that's
not.
why I say, that's why I told you before, don't rush whatever this new venture you want to get into. Don't rush into it. Don't rush into finding the replacement, because the replacement will come at the right time when somebody needs to move it. And trust me, they are going to move. There are going to be people who are going to be moving cars. So why I said about
Good
Firehawk,
advice, sir.
I know, I mean, I have an idea what you're looking for, but like Mike said, if it was a, WS6, I think if you get into the WS6s and you get into the Firehawks, I think the Firehawk is probably a bit more valuable than the WS6. And
What made the Firehawk so? Because I never got into the Pontiac side.
because of the SLP, it was because they only made so many of them, right? The
But
Firehawk,
they did the SLP on the Camaro too. SSs.
yeah, but they made three. You got to remember, they made 3 Camaros for every Firebird.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Maybe 5 Camaros to every Firebird.
So you really want to watch me gut a WS6 out, I mean, I'm gonna stomp its guts out of its mouth, bud. And you guys want to watch me?
I think it. Listen, I think that there are enough Firehawks out there that have high mileage that you wouldn't feel bad doing that to.
You know what's shocking is how many cars are out there with 30,000, 20,000 miles on them. Have you ever looked around? It is insane how many have just sat in a garage. I'm blown away. I was just like, wow. My own ZL1's coming up on some of the miles of what these 90s, 2000s cars have, and I'm just like, holy cow. But it's cool. It's cool.
Why do you want? What's your intention with this car? Are you going to?
What's that?
Are you going to gut it to turn into a race car kind of deal, or?
It's crossed my mind.
Okay.
It's crossed my mind. Tracy sent me a picture of a one. It was a basket case, but I wish I could find a place. Hey, Mark, you're good. You're a good person to ask. So, like a car, can you find a bolt kit? Like if you come across a basket case car, coming across these factory bolts, thread pitch, length, size, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I'm just like these cars that are in pieces. I wonder if a guy would make $1 if he could figure out. See, I wouldn't got a true WS6. Yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you. The WS6 was a hood, the Ram Air, a hood, and I think was the airbox lid different on those?
Suspension too, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it had thicker sway bars and it had some KYB shocks. That was it. That was the WS6 package. So I feel kind of guilty buying this electric car or whatever and then just beating on it. You know what I mean?
Give me 1 sec, buddy. I'm just going to look something up here.
Go for it. Go for it.
To answer your question, if there was one guy that I would know that would do it.
Do what?
Oh, shit. I follow this guy's channel, too. I think.
Yeah. You got to drive any of the Corvettes from that era?
I have driven them, yeah.
What do you think of
them? I don't mind them. I think they're all right.
Yeah. Having space, elbow room, functionality, squeaks and rattles, anything like that.
They all fucking rattle. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm gonna put this in here. This guy sells a bunch of.
Do you guys think a lot of you would want me to walk in front of the firing squad if I put a Corvette on the channel? Oh.
This guy here, the Auto Guild, he sells books that are pretty detailed for LS swaps and all that. If anybody had that information, it would probably be this guy.
For
like when you're saying about bolts and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm gonna.
that guy's pretty detailed books.
I'm putting it up on the screen for myself coming back and watching. And see, Mark, see what I tell you. There's so many. I get as soon as I walk away from Camaro, here it comes. I just here's my thing. I think that the Corvette crowd that I really don't want to, that I don't really like fall in line with or whatever. I think they're so far past that era of cars. I don't think they really own them. Maybe a few do. I don't know.
Personally, I think you own a better car than,
Dude,
I think you own a better car than most Corvettes. Like that Z01 or Z01, sorry.
it is. No. I think it's no. I mean, uh, dude, when I dropped the glove box, I've been talking about getting rid of this car just simply because I hate supporting the current era of GM. I fucking hate it. I love the car, but when I dropped the glove box and I pulled it down and I saw all those control modules, the feeling that came over me was just it was something else.
Yeah, but
And
dude, have you driven an early 2000s Camaro?
I had a bunch of the 93 to 97s, but I never did. I never was okay. So the era when I was having sports cars, I never was able to buy a 98 to 02.
Right.
That was when I was going through 20s and establishing myself in life.
And that's fine. The 93 to 07 and the 98 to 02 ride exactly the same.
Mm-hmm. Same chassis.
Now, take one for a drive and then go back into your car, and I'll guarantee you'll be running back to the Z01.
Why does everybody say that?
Not that it's not. Listen, it's not that it's not a good car. It's just, dude, you got to remember the new cars, they handle so much better. The power,
Yes.
the traction control. For those who like leaving it on, I don't know why you would leave it on a 4th gen, because if you broke loose on a 4th gen and that traction and that gas pedal came, it would literally almost break your ankle. You know what I mean? Well, the technology's so much better now.
Yes. So I'm sorry, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Pite's Performance is the one that Mike is talking about. He's actually an Iowa guy. I watched that podcast. I watched it today, actually. And that 75,000 mile warranty is bumper to bumper. So he'll cover switches, interior pieces, all that shit. That is one to really go check out. So you buy this performance package upgrade, and included in that performance package upgrade, bumper to bumper, headlight bulbs, body panels, everything. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Mike, because that is a good one to catch. Yeah, it's but I'm sorry, what were you saying, Mark?
Just about the technology and how much it's changed now.
Yes.
It all depends. If you want all that tech, then you're gonna have to stick where you're at. But if you're okay with not having that tech,
I don't like the tech.
Performance, find an 01 or 02 and send it to wherever you like. Send it to Lingenfelter. Send it to Yanko. It's not send it to Yanko, but I'm trying to think of the parent company. And
SVE.
Yeah, send it to SVE, and and they can do wonders with a car like that.
Oh yeah. My tuner. I'm working with a couple guys in Texas, and yeah, there's a lot of things. The thing is like I don't like the tech. My ZL1, I don't like when you open the door. I don't like the entry light plates. I don't like the navigation. I don't like the dual climate zone. I would go back to crank windows. Like I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? That was kind of like with my 1SS 1LE. That was why I was like very cool with it, because it was like basic. But the cameras and the microphones, and call me paranoid, call me what you want, I don't trust it. I don't like it, and I stopped the bus and let me off.
Yeah,
I'm cool.
Well,
you know what I mean?
The good thing with the 01 is that you can put whatever you want into it. You want to put You want to put a big
Yes.
LSX in it with a supercharger, it'll fit. It's the same motor. I
What-
mean, it's the same
What do
architecture.
What do you think? What do you think it would be the best combo to get? Put an LT4 with a 10-speed. Ooh,
No,
you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that.
no, yeah, I don't know about a 10-speed. I'd go to a manual.
Would you? You wouldn't gut it out like a beer can. Put a LT4 with 10-speed and
No,
put a cage in it and do
no,
a 9-inch.
no. You know what? Listen, when I did my 91, you know, and I'm not talking about the aesthetics of it. I'm talking about the performance side of it. Like that, you felt every bump in the road. And I mean, that car rode so stiff.
Yeah.
It probably, like it handled better than a vet. Like it just
Which
handled
one?
really well, but you felt every bump in the road.
Which one?
My 91.
Yeah.
It had, bigger sway bars and aluminum drive shaft. And
Did you have coilovers in it or what?
no, I put adjustables in it, KYB adjustables.
Okay. Why was it so rough riding?
Because of the bigger sway bars and the,
Oh yeah, stiff.
all the upgrades, right?
Yeah, right. No, my thing is, I think you hit a point to where it's a trade off. I mean, the mag ride can only give you so much squishy stuff, but as hard as I drive them and off camera, I'm telling you, I drive it worse than probably what I do on camera. Because on camera, I've got the state of Iowa threat to take my license away. Because I mean, I've gotten so many tickets this past summer. The thing is it's a laundry list, which I'm going to get into in some videos. There's a lot of things going on with that car. It's time for me to walk away. I want to just write a check and I want to have the title in hand. The cars now, they're too expensive. The month to month. I mean, you think about it. That car is $2,000 to keep on the road, and then you're buying parts to make videos with, and you know what I'm saying. And yeah, I mean, I'm not making as much money these days. Which I mean, I got enough money to float it till next year, whatever. It doesn't, it doesn't matter. But the thing is just like it's principle. I'm ready to be done with it and walk away, which I'll get to later. But in the meantime, it's kind of fun window shopping and looking around. I'll be honest with you. I did put a catfish. I put a WS6 picture up, catfish Camaro picture up, and the F body got probably twice as many likes. So I don't know. We'll have to see what's going on.
My latest turbo Trans Am that I did, it didn't start out well, but then it took off like crazy. It was like,
what year?
it's something that I need to focus more on because we're Camaro and Firebird group. It's something that I need to address more to the one side and not so much Camaro. But I mean, dude, you can do whatever you want. You can get a 5th gen and, got a 5th gen, put a 572 in it, and
oh my God. Now you're talking, Mark. Welcome to the club, baby. This is it. Now we're talking this. Now speaking my language.
That way, I mean, the good thing about down there, and I don't know what it's like in Iowa, but
yeah,
I'm saying in the US overall, is you guys got lots of tracks.
Yeah. I don't have any tracks where I'm from. I mean, I think I got the Newton Speedway, but it's a 3/8 mile circle track.
Oh, no drag tracks around? No,
not really. I mean, you're driving 2 hours minimum to get to one.
Really? Eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you I'm 3 to 1.
Where you at in Canada?
I'm in Ontario.
Ontario. Okay. I was watching something the other day, and they were saying something about the temperature swing in Canada is so drastic. The way they have to prep the concrete in Canada, they have a hard time fighting traction all the time, year round. Well, I guess in season. Is that true?
No, I don't think so. You're talking about the tracks?
Yeah, the concrete itself. Getting the temperatures going down, getting cold.
Maybe maybe a certain time of year, but it's a very, when you get into the September, October, it might, but we don't have big swing, or like we have swings, but they're months apart. You know what I mean? Like, the coldest part of the year here is January and February, but
No way. What would you do this?
I'm building.
I'm not big on the front ends. I think the 93 to 97 looks better than the 98 to 02. But the 98 to 02 had so many fine, like the speedometer needles, they came to a taper. There's just like all these little fine things that the 98
97 totally. And if you're a fan of that front end, 97 is the best year because you get both worlds. You get the old front end and the new interior.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 97. Yeah,
that
picture you showed me on our last live, that was a 97 because it had the newer interior in it.
Camaro, yes. Firebird, no. Is that true? I also got to remember when in 97 when these cars were new, I was like 12. I was, you know what I mean? I really wasn't in cars like.
That's what I meant to say. In the Camaro in 97, you had the old front end and the new interior.
But my thing was,
you can still make a catfish fit on a 97.
Can you?
Mm-hmm. I have friends that have done it.
My thing is the LS1. That was the back in the day, that was the big thing, was LS1, man. So that was the part I liked. And also you got the Hurst shifter in the 98 to 02. That's interesting. I'm sitting here thinking about the 97, that white, what is it, they call that, houndstooth or whatever.
Yeah.
Was that houndstooth or
houndstooth? Yeah.
That is a 98 to 02, isn't it? Interior.
I was talking with the dash, not necessarily the houndstooth.
What about the seats? Because it had the vertical stitching on the leather seats. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to go back and look at it and do a little. Tracy's right. The tail lights.
Yeah, 97. They went to the amber and tail lights.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's Houndstooth was 30th anniversary. Yes, sir.
If you're gonna go LS1, there are some things to remember too, right? Like,
what?
It's been a while, and I would have to look some of this up, but the 2000s had the truck cams in them, and
oh yeah, the heads and the cam are probably by.
Yeah, the 98s had the better heads and the better cranks in them, I think.
The what? Say that again.
The 98 had the better heads and the better cranks in them.
Okay. Brian Tooley Racing is actually going back and reinventing the wheel on those. He's actually going back to the Cathedral Port. They did a lot of flow testing as far as like canted valves and everything go. You can go back on the Go Hard podcast, and I can't remember what hour it is because that was like a 5-hour podcast. They say that they're actually going back and they're coming out with new head designs, almost a 250cc for the LS1, LS2, and I think a couple new camshafts. So, I mean, there's still new attack, and there's a big following for LS. But Yeah, I'm torn. I like the 90 the look of the 93 to 97 better. The 98 to 02 was just it had nicer stuff in it with and I think it did look a little meaner in some angles, but yeah, I don't know. I'll look. I'm gonna keep looking. Did you ever get to drive any sixth generation Corvettes?
C6s, yeah. I
What do you
drove a
think
C6
of 'em?
and a C7. I've driven a C8.
What did you think of the C6? I just did a poll today and it smashed everything by like
Well, I
I
think the
don't think I
C6 when things started to improve, and this is just my opinion. I think C6 is when things started to improve again. C5 over the C4 was better, and then C6 was a big jump, and then C7. Yeah, I'm not a big C8 fan. I don't like the looks of them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
I'm not a big C8 fan either. You don't like the looks of them? What about it don't you like?
I
You don't
I
like
don't
that
know.
big square ass?
I I don't mind the front end. I don't know what. I think it's just the whole overall car. I don't. I'm not a big fan of the
Okay.
interior.
Yeah, I don't like
Uh,
the interior. I don't like that
just
wall.
kind of goes away from everything I know a vet to be.
I'm gonna tell you what. Once they get it figured out, though, and they're getting it figured out on that Pites the Go Hard podcast, which they just dropped Friday.
Yeah,
They're getting that thing. The simple fact that it's a mid-engine, uh, all the torque, cross-plane V8, the
yeah.
mid-engine, just the chassis setup on the street is going to be nasty. It's going to be
Well,
hard to deal with.
here's the
You know what I
thing.
mean? What?
To give credit where it's due, based on its merits, it
Uh-oh.
for the money,
Oh, God.
for the money what that car costs, nothing can touch it because it's so much cheaper compared to anything that it compares against.
How do we go from 59.99 for the 1LT Stingray to a quarter mil for a Z06?
I don't know. I don't know because
you know,
horsepower. I mean, I don't know.
that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah. When you like to know says 99.
Delete on intake. Yeah, 243 heads of stock. Yeah.
I don't know. I'll keep. I'm gonna keep looking. I think, like Mark said, though, that there's this the journey. Take your time.
I just, you know what? Like, I remember the O2, and I never owned one, but I drove enough of my friends, and I know I drove enough of the GM cars that
What do you have right now?
I don't have anything right now. I'm sort of in the shopping boat you are.
Okay. So, what's your next move?
I don't know. I'm sort of 4th gen WS6. I'm 5th gen Camaro. That's where I'm at.
Says I like the C8 with the big hips on the Z06 and the E-Race. Something is disproportionate on the Stingray. I can't put my finger on it. I think it's the same damn car. I think it's just the arrow, the front, the skinnier, slimmer, sleeker, if that makes sense. Front end really throws the balance, the proportions out of whack for the rear end, and that big square ass on it. The overall car is a real blocky, straight, angular design. Some like it, some don't. I mean, I think the car looks better with the aero delete, no wing at all. But like I said, with the GPS and the microphones and all the AI coming, and especially since you can't take the OnStar out of it, it's a no go for me, sir. But I think if you could gut all that out, I think it's gonna be a mean machine on the streets because you got all the torque, everything a Camaro's got, except it's literally sitting on the rear wheels. So you're going to have traction for days, especially the E-Ray all-wheel drive with the electric assist. It's going to be badass once they get it figured out, but is it a real Corvette? I don't think so. I mean, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things change over the next couple months.
No, it's interesting because that's what I heard with the tariffs, that they're trying to throw tariffs at this to try to incentivize people buying, and that's across the board for all goods. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I think that it's going to be great for us as far as keeping gas alive. More V8s coming. Earlier you mentioned the Hemi coming back. What have you heard about that?
One of the other channels I follow that they were saying that Chrysler is working on a new V8. I think they referred to it as, they were going to call it the Magnum again.
Okay, so this company that bought, because I haven't heard, I think I called it the Magnum. Have they kind of learned their lesson with the EV, or?
I don't know, because I don't follow Chrysler too much. I mean, Stellantis,
Me neither.
Chrysler, and
Yeah.
we said in a previous live that I'd own one. I think I've owned two.
I know the founder for what was it? The great grandson of Mopar or whatever offered to come back and buy the brand, buy the company back so they could build it back and bring and they declined. They declined the offer. So
Well,
go ahead.
Oh, I can't remember the guy's name, but the former president, who is a car guy, he's like the Mopar father, who was big on the Challengers and the Chargers and the Demons and all that. I mean, he's gone. Could he come back if Stellantis sold Chrysler? Maybe.
You talking about Kaniskis?
Yeah. Yeah, the name couldn't come to me at first, but
I heard he got tossed out rather than walked out.
Oh, probably. I mean, I don't understand what's going on, Chrysler. Like I said, I said I own one. I own two of them, and it's probably the last two I'll ever own. So,
yeah.
I think you'll see gas prices go down in January, like, with the new administration, and
they're already starting.
Yeah.
It's already starting.
GM's already committed to building that new V8.
So do you think Camaro 7 is going to come back gas or electric?
I don't know. I don't think it'll come back full electric. I have my doubts it'll come back electric at all.
Okay. We're working our way there. We're
That's just my opinion. I could be way off.
No, yeah, it's
way off. I based on what I'm seeing, I wouldn't. I'll tell you what. I think it might come back. I think it might come back as a hybrid, or a hybrid option included.
Like the E-Ray, is that what you're thinking? Like
all-wheel
drive? Now, Mary Barras, have you been following the Lansing plant with her trying to get $5 billion?
No.
From, can't remember, what was it, Congress or whatever she went in front of, and that's the money she is requesting from the government to go back and retool the Lansing, Michigan plant to gut it out and turn it into an EV facility.
So, are they still not making CT5s?
Yes.
Are the CT5s not made in Lansing still?
Yes.
See, and that's another thing. I mean, that's a whole other show by itself. something that I was going to cover in the video was how, GM has abandoned Camaro, but still making Cadillac, even though Cadillac sells less cars than Camaro did.
Right. And they've come out with a Cadillac CT5 2025 refresh already. So it's minor. The differences are minor. You're not getting a whole lot. It's kind of like our sticker package that we got.
Did I see the Blackwing was discontinued for 2025? Did I see that? They're going to a twin turbo. They're staying with the twin turbo 6 now instead of the V8.
I believe so. I kind of stopped watching it after we got the announcement the last LT4 was built. They just released a new precision version Blackwing.
Because I was pretty sure that I've seen somewhere that they're.
Did you know about this, Mark? Did you know about this? I haven't heard anything about precision.
No.
Is it EV?
Basically a 1LE for the Blackwing. Huh.
No. So with the 2025 refresh on the CT5, that kind of tells me that plant is going to be up and going for a couple more years. Doesn't that? I mean, wouldn't you think? Or no?
Well, and that's what I said. If they want to bring this car back, they still got the platform.
Well, we got the Alpha. I mean, Cadillac's already got the Alpha 2 chassis, right?
Yeah.
We got a brand new V8 coming. That they've invested $1 billion. Well, just under.
Yeah, and I'm
trying to read between the lines here and look into my crystal ball and just say, are they going to get the $5 billion to retool the factory? Are they going to build the car somewhere else? I don't see it coming back as an EV. I just don't. Again, my opinion.
I don't see it coming back as an EV either. I could see it coming back as a hybrid, or I could see a hybrid version of it coming back.
Do you really think that they're going to do the SUV?
No.
I think it would be suicide. I think that's a kamikaze mission.
One thing that I've learned about GM in my many years of dealing with them is that they're the last to market for a reason. And a lot of people don't.
Do you think that
they took their time with the 6th gen? They took their time with the 5th gen.
Okay.
To fix some of the mistakes that were going on. So when they brought it out, they nailed it. But then again, there was a lot of people that were around then that are not around now.
Can we get Scott back on?
Yeah.
If I had just a little bit of time to get a couple questions. What did he ever tell you what was the 2002 to 2010 time gap about? What was the reasoning?
I'm sure he told me years ago. I don't remember what it was now, to be honest.
It's kind of unpaid. I hope it doesn't come back. So anyone that owns one now can have the rarity aspect. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Selfish mother. I love it.
I'll tell you. I mean, we went for dinner when he come to my show in 2010 or 2011.
Okay.
2012.
Yep.
I forget which one it was. But we went out for dinner. I mean, him and I talked about a lot of things, and it blew my mind about. I mean, he was still working for GM at the time, but just some of the stuff that he could talk about that, that he could share, that it just blew my mind. Just
I bet.
Man's head. So.
I thought you were going to dump on us a bunch of insider shit. Man.
I can appreciate what Skydog's saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
we're going to have like a 1 year, 2 year hiatus. I think the C9 Corvette's going to get the new V8. I think that they're going to wait probably a year into the Trump administration to see.
I certainly think I will say this. I think that the possibility I think the possibility of it coming back sooner is better now than it was 6 months ago.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean,
Especially if those EPA standards get torn down or reduced. And you know, I'm not, I mean, the APA standards are there for a lot of reasons, but when it comes to automobiles, these cars don't pollute now. You know,
oh my God,
some would say that cattle pollutes more than cars do.
with the methane.
Yeah.
Oh, my brain is just wanting to blah blah. The amount of okay, so I have a farmer buddy, and I was talking to him, and he broke it down from the bottom up exactly why E85 is so clean, cleaner. And I'm gonna tell you, a catless car running E85 is a lot cleaner than a catted car running 93 or 91. It's just it's a simple fact of hydrocarbons
Mm-hmm.
and the amount of hydrocarbons getting released. With the LT platform, is that what you're referring to as far as the efficiency goes? Is that what you're saying, Mark?
I'm just saying cars and modern cars in general aren't big polluters.
No. With the way that they got 10-speed transmissions, high gear rear ends, direct injection, straight into the combustion chamber. No. Especially with me owning that ZL1 and going through the process of building it and watching it being tuned, how lean you can run it, at what RPM range, and it's insane, man. I mean, you can get 1,100 wheel horsepower car, 1,100 to the tire, and still get almost 20 miles to the gallon. That's crazy.
Right.
So,
yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, the EPA regulations are there for a lot of good things, but I believe factories pollute way more than cars do, and
absolutely.
when you put tighter and tighter restrictions on these manufacturers, I mean, that's the problem. Why you have the problems today that you have with oil consumption, right? The direct injection is, probably great in some areas because it gives you better fuel economy. But if you've ever torn an engine apart that's got direct injection, you'll see what it does to the intake parts versus port injection.
Oh yeah.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
Right. And direct injection also is directly responsible for oil consumption.
Yes.
A portion of it.
I read an article that said more pollution comes from tires and brakes than exhaust. I don't know. Now, listen, I will say that I worked for aftermarket. I'll just say this: outside the U.S., brake pad, the composition of the compound which they use to stick to the backing of a brake pad, it's pretty shocking. What they would be using as far as when it comes to the contact to the rotor, when the rotor heats the pad material up to a certain, yes, you're right. There are a lot of metal filings that flow down the side of your car when you're riding the brakes. But yeah, asbestos, a lot of metals, which they call volatile organic compounds in the air. I could see it. The tire aspect, I haven't really done a whole lot of research on, but yeah, I would say that there's some validity to it, and I'm going to do some research on that. But okay, sir.
I mean,
What?
I don't know. I think that, like I said, I think there's better odds of that car coming back now than there was 6 months ago. But I still think you're based on what we know, and there's a lot that we don't. Okay,
Yeah.
I think if that car is coming back anytime in the next couple of years, you're gonna start hearing something about it soon.
Yeah. Skydog Pigpen, do EVs go through tires quickly? Yes, because of the weight. I heard that they have their own tires.
1 second, I'm just gonna go.
I'm not. Go ahead. I'm not big into like the EV and the maintenance that goes into them. I don't follow them, but yeah, for a tiny car like that to be like 5,000 or more pounds, yeah, the tread wear is going to be ridiculously high, and it's going to have to be a hard compound. So I would say yes, but the EVs. I'm interested about that. That's a good point, Mike. I appreciate you bringing that up because I'm interested to see exactly what comes from brake compounds. I forgot all about that. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Are you good?
I think it will make. I mean, the good thing about that is that if the regulations are made easier on these automakers, that's why we're seeing things fall off, because the regulations are getting harder or getting harder and higher, or the regulations are the allowances are getting higher or lower and lower.
Yeah.
And that's why you're seeing everybody get rid of V8s, right?
Well, that's what I was saying. The 170 grams of carbon emissions per mile, they're going to cut it down to 85. That means Corvette's in danger. You know what I mean? At this point, but if we could get that lifted, smashed, taken out, I'm with you, Mark. That's going to put Camaro back on the table. And
I don't see GM allowing Ford to have this whole market to themselves. I mean, Ford's committed to the Mustang for the next 7 years.
Did you see the markups that they're putting on the Mustang?
No.
$90,000 for a Coyote.
For a dark horse, or
yeah, that's fully loaded. That's every freaking option that you can get. But still, $90K for a Mustang. That's insanity, bud. Just because they have the market corner and they know that they can. You know what I mean? Make hay while the sun's shining, right? So I don't I mean, I think with, and that's the whole reason I wanted to stream about this, this is big news. This is going to be huge for us. This, as far as keeping the V8 alive. I don't even think we're going to need to have it come down to the point to where we're going to need synthetic fuels at this point. I think if you just give people the options, let the market. Have a good night, sir.
We were talking about you earlier in your tripod. Now I got a squeaky chair. The sad reality is that there's the population who supports V8 is getting smaller.
It is.
Right.
Why?
I think it's a younger demographic that doesn't like the V8s. And I'm saying that based on truck stuff, right? So I follow a lot of truck stuff because of my truck and that. And
trucks have V8s.
Yeah, but you're seeing a lot of younger owners supporting the V6s.
Interesting.
I would say Oh, let me Google it and find out what the stat is.
You just want to wait in the fucking bush.
Versus V8. There's related information, reliability, towing pieces. Yeah, I don't.
What's that?
I was looking to see what the stat was of on the Ford side. How many people buy the EcoBoost over the V8, and they can't. There's not really a stat for it yet. But I would say that it was. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably 2 or 3 to 1, maybe 4 to 1.
I know the Silverado has a 4-cylinder, like Mike is saying. I
Yeah.
actually drove one, and in the 10-speed, it wasn't. It was actually on par with the V6, but
Yeah, so GM, what's GM's what do they call that now? They call that the
little 2.7
yeah, what do they call that?
piece of shit. I think it's
I forget.
I don't know.
TurboMax, I think they call it.
Is it?
I think it's called TurboMax.
I got their
Yeah, TurboMax.
Is that what they call it?
That's what the GM's 2.7's called, TurboMax.
Yeah, it's
from what I understand, it's a pretty good motor. I hear very little problems about it.
Okay. Longevity wise, is that what you're talking?
Yeah, like I don't hear a lot of complaints about it. We've covered our fair share of oil consumption videos on the channel, and a lot of it is V8 related, V6 related. I don't hear a lot of problems about that TurboMax.
That's good.
Wow,
look at this.
I would even go as far as to say that the EcoBoost on the Ford side might be, now EcoBoost combined, the 2.7 EcoBoost and the 3.5 EcoBoost.
Look at this.
Probably 5 to 1.
A standard cab work truck. This is the WT work truck. Almost $40,000.
Yeah.
I remember when those were selling for 18 or 19 grand.
I bought a brand new extended cab dually.
Ridiculous.
I bought a brand new 99 extended cab dually with turbo diesel in it. Brand new 99 for 49 grand. Fully loaded.
That's easy 6-figure truck.
Oh, yeah. They're 120 up here now.
Easy 6-figure truck. Yeah. I honestly think, and when I was doing live streams a year, 2 years ago, I had a question. And this was like the height of when car prices were climbing at a dramatic rate. They're asking, "Are car prices going to come down?" I said, "Yes. It's gonna take some leadership change."
Yeah.
And here we go. I mean, this is what it is. The change is here. Time to get it done. And I just don't think EVs. I don't think the EV market. They're taking a lot of government dollars right now, building up a charging architecture. You know what I'm saying? Support, whatever. But I think it's going to be all for naught. I think that it's. I mean, let's be realistic. They're going to be around for a long time. They're here to stay. You know what I'm saying?
Well, a lot of media would make you believe that it's still trending in the right in a positive direction, but I don't think it is. All you got to do is walk to any dealership and you'll see. My local dealer has got 5 or 6 Blazer electrics
And they're giving you
Equinox electrics, and they've been sitting there for 2-3 months now.
and they're giving you $10,000 off to take it.
Well, here we get 5. That's all we get is 5.
Really?
Mm.
So with a $5,000 tax incentive, the market is diminishing, or it's sustaining, or
They're just not selling because they're too high here. Like I said to you, that Equinox, it's a 3LT Equinox, so it's loaded.
okay.
But they're $55,000.
So what do you think that $55,000 truck should be selling for?
40.
I was
But that,
guessing 30, 35.
you know, that Equinox is only a couple $1,000s cheaper than a Blazer.
My thing is like when it comes to the performance side, it's a skateboard. That's the reference everybody uses. That's the analogy everybody uses. It's a skateboard. It's not different, and like the Camaro, the chassis is different. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of character and there's a lot of difference in the individual models. EVs, all the models are pretty much going to be the same. It's going to be the same with a different body sitting on top.
Yeah.
I don't think that the character is going to be there for people to have a passion for them or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. There's no noises. There's no. You know what I'm saying? There's just not enough character in them to be different.
You know, it's very weird because the performance car game is changing. It's a dying breed. Some would say. I would say
What?
it's the whole performance car scene, right? Like it's, and I don't know. I don't know that I agree with it 100%.
What about the character?
No, just that it's a dying breed, right? That's why you still have
I don't think it's I don't think it.
40, 50. You probably have 100 Camaros sitting on lots around the U.S. still. Now, a lot of that is money, right? Like money's pretty tight right now.
Yeah, but they're asking $42,000 for a 4-banger.
Yeah,
where I'm at.
I get it. I get it. We have a convertible V6 sitting here in town. I've done 2 videos on it, and it's a great car, 3LT loaded. It's actually a 1 of 6 car for 2024.
Ooh.
Andrew Camaro Cave gave me the stats on the build of it. It's a 1 of 6 built car for options. But it's a V6, right? It's $64,000. It's a V6 convertible. Nobody's going to spend 64 grand. I shouldn't say nobody. That demographic is very small. That's why it's been sitting there for over a year. If that was a V8, it'd probably be gone. But
100%. All the V8s are gone.
Well, there's still a few out there.
Are there? I know Huebner Chevrolet had a couple, but they were asking like $250,000 or something. Just being stupid with it.
There's an orange 2023 out there that's been sitting there a long time.
Yeah.
There's a white 2023 Redline convertible.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, I haven't checked recently, but as of our last live that we did together, it was still sitting there.
Okay.
And the orange one, they have like a $10,000 markup on it for some reason, but the white one, they're starting to reduce it, and it's still sitting there. And it's a Redline SS convertible.
I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss for words as far as like the markups. Yeah. Like I said, I think with this with the coming in, taking away the tax dollars, all the credits, the free shit for everybody. I think we come in and we smash the freaking EPA demands or whatever. This is gonna free up a lot. This is gonna give us a lot of leash to play with. That's gonna put a lot of things back in play. That's gonna put a lot of things back on the table as far as.
I agree, but a lot of the problems that we're seeing right now has got nothing to do with government.
What do you mean?
The greed, right, from the OEMs. Now you're starting to, not so much maybe on the car side, but you're seeing it on the truck side because that's where their money is, right? If you follow any of the car channels on YouTube, you're starting to see that they're starting to offer discounts. And some of them pretty big, like some of the guys said, right? 8,000, 10,000, 10,000 off.
Mm-hmm. I think that this is the perfect time for people to actually learn how to fix their own shit.
Yeah.
Tired of getting ripped off? Do your own brakes. You learn how to do simple things. You know, I read somewhere is over 10 years ago, Mercedes-Benz did a simulation, and they say that the average adult would go through, if you really ran it into the ground, 3.2 vehicles throughout your entire adult driving life.
Right.
So consumerism, but like I said, the greed. I think you nailed it. The greed is just it's off the charts.
It's
And
one thing that I try to do is educate. I mean, that was the whole reason why when I started my channel was to help with the knowledge that I have and then educate, right? Like, I know for example, like, and I try to support and buy when I can, where I can, but at the end of the day, my budget is my budget. Okay.
Yep.
If I have to put brakes in the truck all the way around, it's almost it's over $1,000. It's probably $1,200 to put brakes around on my truck all the way around. Okay.
At a shop or at home?
At a shop.
Okay. Damn, that's
cheap.
If
you go on, there's a company on Amazon that I bought a set of brakes for my truck for. Companies like 2 hours south of here in the city.
Sure.
That's where their head office is. They sell brakes on Amazon. They're called Max Brakes. You can buy pads and rotors, and they're like $225 just for the fronts. Those same pads and brakes or pads and rotors from a parts store are like $600. So I'm like, you know what? For $200, I'll buy them and try it out.
Yep.
I've had them on a year now, and they're ceramic brakes. Well, they come. Okay, if they have this much ceramic in them, they're considered ceramic. They're ceramic pads and rotor kit. It was $200, and they don't make a sound. They work really well, and I saved myself that I got it for a third of what I would pay at a parts store.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that you have to learn, right? Now, some people, there's stuff that I can do that I don't do because I don't have time or whatever. I mean, I have the tools to do it. If I have the time to do it, great. If not, I have a friend down the street who's got a shop. I take it to him and we can do it in his shop.
Yep.
Because I don't have a lift in the garage. But, if you can do it yourself, yeah, you'll save a lot of money for sure.
Well, I think this is the perfect time to people to like wake up and start doing that stuff. Whatever you can. You know what I mean? I got a text message from a subscriber of mine, and it was like over $1,000 to put headlight bulbs in his Traverse. And I'm like, my God.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like 700 and some to put spark plugs in, and it was just like all this simple little things that people can be doing to really extend the life of what they have. And that's kind of where I'm at now as far as like not anti-consumerism, you know what I'm saying? There's a reason those cars are still around. I mean, I think that the old stuff does everything that the new stuff just as well. You know what I'm saying? It's not as flashy, but the new stuff, it's just got so much shit that can go wrong. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I like my 15. It's got a little bit of tech in it. You know, it's got a
It's
little
got
bit.
everything you need. Everything you need.
It's got my 15 has enough tech in it to keep me happy, but not too much that can go wrong. It doesn't have now, and that they had it in 15. Just the model that I have doesn't have it. But
The only thing you need is StabiliTrak.
yeah,
That's the only thing you need in those pickups.
the lane centering and all that crap. I don't need that.
I don't want it. Every time the car starts beeping, if you don't brake hard enough, fast enough, it's irritating, man. And I'm gonna tell you, if I get in my car, have you like lived with a 6th generation Camaro at all or no?
Oh, I've driven them. Yeah, I just
Okay, so if you walk down, start your car, dude, you gotta sit here. Hit your fucking mode selector, turn the rev match on, do this, do that. And by the time, oh shit, I forgot my fucking glasses or I forgot this inside. And I don't trust whatever to leave my car running. You shut it off. You got to do it all over again. I'm tired of it. It's fucking exhausting, man. It's
push button, is it not?
What?
Your car's push button, is it not?
It's push button to start, but you got to go through this whole fucking ritual to get it to drive how you want it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I'm exhausted of it, dude. And Corvette got the Z button to where you could set all the parameters, and
I've seen that. Yeah.
Camaro didn't get it, but it's just like it's more of a workout than anything. If you're going to daily one of these cars, I mean, do you get used to it? Kinda, but it's to the point now to, I don't know. I grew up in the era where you just start the car and the car is what the car is. You want track mode, you just hit the fucking pedal a little bit harder. You got track mode. There you go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. I'm just ready for something simpler. This thing's got so many fucking lights and LCD screens and sensors for this, and it's getting see. Yeah, he's got a 20 Guy Dog. He's got a black 22. I think his is the 22 like mine. I can't remember. Yeah, really lame how it doesn't stay in track with tractions off. Yeah. And every time you hit a button.
Now, can you not program that with HP tuners?
No. Well, it's got a 23. Fancy pants. Ooh. Dude just picked up a Mazda Miata. I think he needs to LS swap it. Let's all peer pressure his ass now. But
so why not go to a 5th gen and get like a SLP get an SLP 5th gen, like a ZL 575 or
it's still on the global A architecture.
Yeah, but it doesn't have all the tech in it. Like,
still got all the GPS and all the bullshit.
Yeah, but
I like them.
The OnStar in that car is legacy system now, so it's not tracking anymore.
Oh, really? Because the prices of a 5th gen and the 4th gen are starting to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the 5th gen's a better car.
5th gen is a better car. I sat in a Z28 when I was waiting for my ZL1 to ship out from Lansing. A local dealer came across a trade-in.
That would be the better car to get because it's got even less tech in it.
I'm thinking.
But you're going to pay for a Z28.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I was walking down the road and I looked up and there was a black 2010 to 2013 with the halo lights. coming at me, and I was like, "Damn, that is a mean looking car."
And I'll tell you the trick to that is if you want your halos to stay on all the time, you run a patch wire from your headlights to your side marker lights.
What does that do?
It keeps your halos on all the time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's what you were talking about with Scott. Dude, they look mean. They look at me, and I like the quad rear taillights too. The global any global has got me freaking like on the fence to where it's just like I just want to buy a car, title in hand, and be left alone. I don't want it tracking me. I've went through so much bullshit with the Iowa State Patrol. Dude, I'm cool. I don't know. This is you can't prove anything, but I mean I have suspicions. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
it's just I don't even want to put myself in a position where it could be possible. And fourth gens are so damn cool. How much better of a car, in your own opinion, Mark, do you think that the fourth or fifth gen is compared to the fourth gen?
I'm just going to share this with you real quick, and then I will answer that. Where is my? Oh, there it is. You guys see that?
Yeah.
So my car didn't come with fog lights. Those are the daytime running lights. So running that patch wire from the halo to the side marker leaves the side markers, the halos, and my daytimes on. That obviously this is and I don't have my marker lights on. I have no marker lights on in the back, but because I ran a patch wire from the side to the halos, that's why these three are on.
They just look. I like the fifth gen. The rear quarter panel, how the sail, the haunches or whatever over the rear tires is more pronounced.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more pronounced in the fifth gen than it is the sixth gen.
It is, yeah.
And there's just something. I like the quad tail lights in the rear. I mean, pros and cons of everything. I'll check them out. I'm gonna be doing some emailing. I'm gonna be hitting you up. So you said it's legacy GPS isn't being tracked anymore. Expand on that.
So they don't. So the old legacy OnStar system in the older GM cars.
What's the new one running?
I don't know. I just know that the old OnStar system isn't tracking anymore. So I'm going to show you this car. This is a 585. Whoops.
585.
This is a 585, and I drove this car. This car is a phenomenal car. That's a SLP 585. ZL 585. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Are those gills in the rear quarter panel or functional?
No.
Just aesthetic?
Just aesthetic. That's where you're going to pick up all your stone chips too. Those fins are famous for getting stone chips on them.
Really?
Yeah. But you're going to pay for this car too. If you can find an SLP car, you're going to pay for it, unfortunately, because they didn't make that many of them.
What is the 582? What's that mean? Is that just the
585 horse?
Oh. Yeah, dude, the fifth gens, they look good. I mean, I even like the 14s and the 15s. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I didn't really like the mid-cycle refresh when they went to the 14s.
What about it?
I think the car, there are parts of the car I do like, but overall I think the car lost a lot of charm when they upgraded the front nose and rear end on that car. It looks cheaper on the rear end.
The way they smoothed everything out. Yeah. I think them going to the 14, 15 is what made the 10 through 13 more popular.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but even Skydog says, yeah, 5th is more muscle, 6th is more sport. 6th gen's it's a good car. It is a good car. I've got close to 115,000 in this one, and I kind of feel like I've really overpaid. So, I mean, I don't know.
Now, I know this car was for sale for a while. I'm going to show you this one real quick.
What's that?
I know this car was for sale for a while. I know the guy who owns this car now.
Is that paint or wrap?
That's paint.
Damn.
That's a Wanda paint flat black or matte black or whatever.
Yeah, right.
But that was a Lingenfelter car. That Ken Lingenfelter. This was at our show.
Are those supercharged or are they still NA?
That's supercharged.
Yeah.
And Ken sold that. This was still Ken's car when we had it at the show. And then Ken sold it. And I know the guy who owns it. Now, he was selling it. I don't know if he still has it or not, but I think he wanted.
Northwest Muscle Cars says it's very hard to see out of the 6th gen. You get used to it. They are hard to see out of.
I
want to do like you said. I want to go drive a 4th gen and then compare. I think, I don't know, man. I miss it. Might be something emotional.
I find with the 6 and I would tend to agree. I think the 6 is worse than the 5th. The 5th is really bad for the rear hips. You have to adjust your ears to compensate for these rear hips.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I find my experience with driving 6 gens.
Seriously, Northwest Muscle Cars just said 5th gen is way better to see out of.
Yeah. I find the 6 gen's worse than the 5th gen.
Yeah, Michael Sachow just says, I personally like how tight the cabin is. I'm assuming he's talking about the 6th gen.
Yeah.
If you have the Recaros, for sure, because it's tight. Everything's tight. And that's what you expect. But yeah. Tracy says, I think they based the 6th gen, or the 5th gen, I'm sorry, off of the 69 Camaros. I want to ask Scott this so bad. Because I heard that through the rumor when they first came out that this was the indeed true. That they did the retro.
They did, yeah.
To follow the Mustang.
They did. It's funny, if you sit in a 69 and you sit in a 5th gen, you don't sit as deep in a 69 as you do in a 5th gen. But the styling wise, right?
Yeah.
The styling wise had a lot of cues from the 69.
I would have to sit in a back to back to really critique, but yeah. I'm gonna tell you what, that Z28 I sat in, it had a lot more elbow room than my ZL1 I got now. A lot more. So
if you can find 2 buddies with a 4th gen and a 5th gen, right?
Yes.
Pick a day where you can take your car, get a buddy with a 4th gen and a buddy with a 5th gen. You're going to drive your 6th gen, obviously, to where you're going.
Yep.
You're going to get in that 4th gen. You're going to get in that 5th gen, and you're progressively going to see the difference. And it's going to be a very big difference from 4 to 5.
I've never driven a 5th. I've only sat in a 5th. I've never driven a 5th.
You're going to feel like you're riding in the Pulpmobile on a 4th because the windows are so much bigger.
I remember, dude, my whole hatch was a big bubble in my 4th gen. You know what I mean? It had that big divider that comes up with it with the strings. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, because the door panel is so much lower on a 4th gen,
Yeah.
that window is going to feel like it's 4 feet high. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I almost can't freaking wait. That's like the best part about it. Skydog says, I really feel like the 6th gen pulled different aspects perfectly from all the previous. Yeah. The 6th gen, what they did good was phenomenal. The ELSD, that transformed. I mean, if I could find an ELSD to put in that 4th gen, oh my God. But the ELSD, the mag ride, the size of the brakes, the size of the top. I mean, there's a lot of things that they just did right. I mean, the backbone of the car is so stiff. But yeah.
You got to remember, right? The 4th gen solid axle rear end, you have independent on 5 and 6.
Ooh, 5th gen is independent too. God damn it. Yeah, now you got me. Yep, here we go. Jason come back, he said the scales behind those fins, the instrument panel in the console, same as 69. Yeah, 1st gen. I'd like to have a 1st gen at some point in time too. So maybe if my channel takes off one day and I come up with some extra, I'd love to have a 1st gen. Just the daily. I think it would be a cool daily. You know what I mean? LS swapping or whatever. But yeah, the 1st gen's a mean looking car too. That's a good idea. You got me thinking. Damn it, Mark.
Well, I just, I'm here to present options, buddy.
Yeah. That's touche. You did a good job. Damn. Yeah, I had a I might have to go back and rethink a 5th. I don't know. What did you think of the 6th generation Corvette though, the C6? Handling.
You know what? Like I said, I've driven a couple of them, but
auto or stick?
Stick.
Okay.
But I've always liked the Vets. I don't know that I'd ever own one, but I've always liked the looks of them, and but two different crowds, right? So,
yeah.
I don't hang out with the Corvette crowd, right? So,
yeah. Oh man, Tracy, you would be a fool to part with that thing. Do you know how much money you put in that thing? This guy built this car from the ground up. No, I don't think you'd want to.
You can buy a lot of. Hey, stay. Come here. You can buy a lot of decent price. There's a lot of decent price 5th gens out there now.
That's what I'm saying. The 5th gens, they're coming to a point to where I think the market's bottoming out on them before they make their ascend.
Mm-hmm.
That the 4th gen is like right there with the 5th gen. The SSs are cheap, and they make a ton of aftermarket parts for the 5th gen that they don't the 6th gen. Like you can't get an angle kit, for drifting a 5th gen. You can buy an angle kit to, push the steer angle out even for more aggressive. You can on the 6th gen. There's a lot of stupid little things. Plus, I've heard that the under hood room to work on a 5th gen is way better than a 6th gen.
Yeah, it is.
Uh-oh. Somebody getting rambunctious?
Yeah, she's getting a little rambunctious.
Well, we're about the 240 mark. Should we call it?
Yeah, there's lots of room in a 5th gen, right? So
what's that?
There's lots of room in a fifth gen.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. I don't think I think the fifth gen's on its way down now. But I think it will come back up. I think because that was kind of my whole thing right now, where it was like, if you're gonna buy a fourth gen, is now the time, because now they're getting to the point to where they're either breaking and being parted out or taken to the scrapyard, to the crusher, or whatever. And once they get parted out and it's RIP for real, that's when they're going to start getting rare. And
Right.
that's, you know what I mean?
The problem is with the fourth gens is if you were to buy a cheap fourth gen and try and do a retro mod on it, if you bought a V6 car, you'd have to change the front key member.
Correct.
I don't think you have to do that on a fifth gen.
Wouldn't it be awesome to take a 93 to 97 and stuff a LS7 in it?
Well, it's more than doable.
I like the way you talk, sir.
It's more than doable. I mean, you could certainly on a 90 on an up to 96, you could put an LS7 with a carb on it.
Oh no. I'm thinking
you could certainly do it with a Holly Sniper.
Probably maybe Holly Pro EFI.
Holly Sniper, because of the programming and the fuel injection and all that, right?
So if I bought an automatic 10-speed, maybe put a new LT1, LT4 with Motec.
I'd still go manual.
Would you go manual?
I go with Trimec T56 because it'll handle the power.
I just like it because it's fun to drive. I'm getting older. I'm kind of ready to try the automatic. A vast portion of me doesn't want to let it go. Doesn't want to let the third pedal go. I love
why a 10-speed.
What's that?
The 4L80, if that's the training it is, should handle the power.
Yes, but the algorithm, the shift actuators, all the tech in it is just way faster, way harder, way better. It's bigger, badder, stronger in the 10-speed. It's faster. It's even faster on the upshifts. It's milliseconds, but it's faster than a DCT on the upshifts, not the down.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that Ford GM 10-speed.
You're not? That's what everybody all. I got to be careful how I word this.
GM has less problems with theirs than Ford does. Ford's got a lot of problems with their 10-speeds.
Everybody that has spirited driving on the street, I'll just say that, put it that way, they're 10-speed swapping everything.
Really?
10-speed swapping everything. They're pulling 8 speeds out. Everybody wants the 10-speed. And they say that the GM works better. The 10L90. I think the 10L80.
Again, the GM 10-speed, I've heard less problems about the GM version than I have the Ford version. But this was a co-combined, manufactured transmission.
Yeah.
But I hear less about the GM. I hear less problems about the GM version than I do the Ford version.
Yeah, Ford went through a lot of little idiosyncrasies. There was some different milling of different retainers and different the way they stamped certain fins in the baskets throughout different.
And a lot of it could be computer controlled. My 15 has got a 6-speed in it, and it has adaptive learning as well.
Yep. The shift algorithm I haven't heard a whole lot of problems with as far as like the Ford to like causing problems. But I will say this. That's you get a BFH and you get a cutoff wheel and you get a MIG or TIG welder, and that fucker will fit anything. I don't care if my feet have to set up on the dash. You know how a Murcielago, they got to sit kind of like with your, oh, I'm sorry, with your like body crooked like that. Yeah, I'd do that. I'm cool with it. I'm not above it. But yeah, that's what, okay, all the Mexican Racing League, that's what everybody's using. Yeah, the 6L90 and the 6L90, as far as like if you're gonna go LS, that was a badass transmission. But my thing is like the first gear and last gear are pretty much just the same ratios, and the 10 speed is just the way it pushes it through it is better on the 10 speed. But yeah, we'll see. Carbon fiber, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Oh my gosh.
You're freezing up a lot according to my screen.
Oh shit. Am I glitching?
Well, the video's freezing up, yeah.
Okay. All right.
But the audio's fine.
Okay. No, I just looked. My Wi-Fi is like, which is weird, because typically on a Saturday night, it's probably everybody on Cornhub around here using up all the bandwidth.
We get the same problem through StreamYard, and I don't think it's our internet. Our internet's really good.
Yeah, I got the best internet package. I even got extenders or like the what do you call them? I don't know what they are, but
boosters.
I mean, yeah, there you go, signal boosters. So I don't know. I think the problem would be in StreamYard. It has to be, yeah, because the Wi-Fi on my Mac versus the Wi-Fi on StreamYard is different. Yeah, so no, I mean, there's a lot of aspects about a fourth gen I think would be a lot better. I like the fact that you can actually pick a radio. You know what I mean? I grew up with the days where you get a Crutchfield magazine in the mail. Did you guys get those?
Yeah.
I mean, thanks for coming in, man.
Everybody, take care.
So I grew up with the days where you got a Crutchfield magazine and you'd sit there and scan, and Infinity and JL, and I kind of miss those days of piecing a stereo system together and the way it sounded. And there's plenty of head units that you can buy to, has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all that bullshit. So it's not like you're going to lose Bluetooth capability. The one thing that I do like about my current generation Camaro that I'm not going to be able to get is a backup camera. That's it. I've reduced it down. That's the only thing.
Well, it's funny you say that because I don't think I'm going to do it on this channel. I'll probably do it on my other channel, but I just bought a portable Android Auto head unit for my Sonic, and you can run a backup camera off of it. You just got to wire it to your reverse light for it to activate.
Oh, badass. Okay.
And it's a separate standalone unit that kind of, with an auxiliary jack you plug into it.
Does it mount by your license plate or something, or what?
the camera mounts by your license plate, and then the head unit you can mount inside wherever you want. So I'm going to be doing a video about that, like for how to get Android Auto on older cars, and because the truck's got it, and I love it in the truck, but
Yeah.
the Sonic doesn't have it. It's got Bluetooth, but it's just got like a regular. We didn't go for the 8-inch screen because it looked cheap on the it looked cheap in the dash, the way the bezel was around it. My wife didn't like it, so we just got the regular radio.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do a video, and you see them on Amazon. You can buy them on Amazon. They're a couple $100, and you can get them 10.5 inches. And like the one I bought, I think is 9 inch square. But you can get a rectangle.
I mean, changing stuff in the new cars, like my ZL1, that's a fucking nightmare, and it's a domino effect of where it'll mess other things up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can't just add stuff like that. That's what I don't like about this new stuff. You can't just add shit in. It's not like, oh, you just need a power underground and a signal wire and you're good. No, it's the, and I had somebody else on my live stream where they were talking about how sensitive the signal, what was it, metajoules or something? I don't know. It was actually kind of irritating to hear, but yeah, you can do it. You can add it to some head units. Somebody tried to do it in a Lamborghini Gallardo, and it fucked with the security system. But yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of the stuff that I've heard aftermarket puts the OE stuff to shame.
This is the one I got.
Is it 4K? Can you get 4K?
No, this one's not 4K, but they're probably out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can.
So scroll up. What is that?
Trying to show the different.
Where does that head unit mount?
It's an external mount.
Well, I know, but where do you put it? Oh, okay.
So you can hook a backup camera up to it. It's got a forward camera to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see. I'm trying to show you.
So, in your Sonic, do you have a screen now or no?
No, we didn't. We didn't go for the optional screen.
So this would actually be a really good an addition for you.
Yeah. So I have mine on a. I'll show you another one here.
But on the older cars, you have like and for those of you that remember old enough, the den and the double den, and you have the motorized pop-up screens.
Yeah.
Oh, can you get one that I would imagine I'd have to do some research, but
you can get those.
That would Bluetooth or whatever.
Yeah. So this one's got the front camera. It's got the backup camera. And then I operate mine off a bracket like this. Can you guys see that bracket?
Yeah.
Okay, so I operate mine off a bracket and it swings over the dash because I have a little pocket that sits on top of the dash.
Yeah.
And
look at that 4K dash cam. That is better than the Chevrolet PDR. $134. The PDR was $1,400.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This aftermarket stuff smokes the OE stuff just because it fits and it's wired in and works. Thanks for coming out, Tracy.
Thanks, Tracy. Have a good night, buddy.
Yeah, you too, bud. So that's kind of where I'm having a hard time justifying $2,000 a month to $2,000 to keep a car on the road that is like a snitch machine. And you're paying the stupid tax on. For me, it's just, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm over it. To me, if I'm going to pay an ass ton of money, I expect my life to get easier instead of harder. And this car, it doesn't. It's not doing it. It's not doing it for me. I'm ready for change. Plus, it'd be good to shake things up for the channel.
Now, here's just an example, but here's
What?
this might be a bit of a stretch, but
What is this?
doubled in Android Auto. So that mounts in a doubled in bracket, and it's a
Yeah.
14-inch touchscreen.
Oh shit!
You can go smaller than that, but you can go 9-inch,
Welcome to 2024, everybody.
right?
Wait a minute. So that thing's motorized and it slips away and inside the.
No, this one's fixed mount,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah. How fucking weird would that?
The problem is that it blocks some of your vents. Like in the 4th gen, there'd be vents
Yeah.
on top of that screen there.
Now, if that thing was motorized and it slipped back into the dash, wouldn't that thing? Yeah. Chris is right. It'd block the AC controls and shit. Sorry,
Yeah, would, but you
What?
can get a smaller 8-inch.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Sony, Alpine, they all make. You know what I'm saying? And the sound, like the Bose in my ZL1, you can't fuck with it because the signal that the infotainment or whatever outputs has to be a certain frequency. You can upgrade the speakers in these Camaros. It's a lot of cash, and you're very, very limited. In a 4th gen, fuck, dude. I mean, it's wide open.
Yeah.
And especially if you're going to do any roll racing or drag racing, I think a solid rear axle is going to work in your favor.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's been eating at me for like a year, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Y'all have to get a double DIN adapter the 4th gen. We're a DIN and a half. Yeah. Yep, I remember that. Aftermarket radios didn't support because you had to have the surround bezel that was like 1/4 inch or whatever all the fucking way around it. It looked kind of weird because it was like protruding. Yeah, I remember that. But I don't know. Like I said, can you? Is the 5th gen radio like the 6th gen or not?
It's a you can change them out. They look weird when they're changed out though.
Do they?
Because the HVAC controls in the radio are all in one compass unit.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. Like it's good and it's not. You know what I mean? What if it breaks? I guess when it breaks.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We need to get Scott back on here.
Like the newer ones, well, I don't know. I mean, they're a bit different, but
What's that?
I think I found this one here.
What?
I'm just going to show you this picture. It's a pretty fucking sweet car, actually.
Is it a 4th gen? I bet you it is.
No, it's a 5th.
That is a badass car. You know what?
I don't like the high-rise spoilers. This was an option.
That's factory?
That's a factory option.
Oh man.
I don't like the look of it. I'll be honest. I never have liked the look of the high-rise spoilers.
I think if that thing was like an inch lower, the stance on those torque thrust wheels would look good.
They look okay from the back, but they don't look great from the side. I don't know. Just something about it.
The wheels or the wing?
The wing.
Oh yeah, that wing it's too blocky. Yeah.
Like it looks okay from the back, but from the side, that's just my opinion. You know, don't shoot me for if you like it, but
I can't believe that was a factory option. I've never seen one.
And I don't like those silver bezels on the front.
No, I don't like them either.
This has got the rare caramel interior in it, though.
That is pretty cool. They need more of that tan or peanut butter. See, I like those door panels better than 6th gen.
Yeah. That's what drew me to that 5th gen was when this lights up all the way across.
Oh, really?
Like it'll light up from there and go all the way across.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like the manual.
Hold on. I don't remember. No,
what?
Because the prototype or the concept car lit up all the way across, but the pre-production car
Did not.
the pre-production car
Yeah.
that I had lit up all the way across.
Mm.
But by 2010, I don't think it lit up there. It only lit up on the sides.
Okay.
They got rid of that for some reason, I guess for distraction or whatever, but I don't know.
I like it.
This is the mid-cycle refresh this is the interior refresh where they made I don't like this new cluster. I liked it with the bigger buttons
I don't like the font on the gauges.
and the generic steering wheel. I was trying to show you a picture of that radio, but I got another shot here somewhere. See the aftermarket radio? It just doesn't look right.
It looks aftermarket for sure.
Right?
It looks, yeah. You can tell with the just the way the plastics are molded, the shapes and the angles on the OE stuff compared to the aftermarket. Yeah. For sure. It's the bezel that gives it away. It's aftermarket. Yeah.
I don't know. I prefer the 10 to 12 interior over the 13. I'm not a big fan of the cluster. And, when you look at that and then you look at.
And then you get Synergy Green. Ooh, shit. Oh, shit. I think Synergy Green was what, a 2011 year? 2011, I think it was. The hard part is finding a fucking V8 car that they're not asking astronomical money for because most of them were V6s, I think, like Scott said. But
2012.
What?
Oh, I'm just trying to show you another comparable for.
The radio, you mean?
Just how much better the interior is on 12 versus the 13.
Mm-hmm. '10 and 11. Did they make Synergy Green in 2010?
Yeah.
Did they? I thought it was a 1-year color. Okay, never mind. Yeah, you can find the V8 cars, but dude, yeah.
I like this cluster better.
What cluster?
This is the 10 to 12, right? Bigger numbers.
Do you like the font? Do you like the font?
It's exclusive to Camaro. It's not spread over 10 cars.
Do you like the font though?
I just don't like the smaller cluster, right?
What's going on in between them? What is that?
That's your driver information center.
Okay.
So it'll be digital speedometer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What I do kind of like is in the 13, 14, in the 14s, they went to color in the 2 SS and 2 LT.
Color what?
This screen was in color.
Oh.
Right? Where 10 to 13, it was always just blue like that radio is.
Yeah.
Right. But in
Pixelated.
14, the one LT and one SS had it in standard blue, and then it was color if you went to the 2SS.
Man, oh man.
And they're just subtle changes, right? Between the
Yes.
cluster and some of the interior. They did a couple of small changes along the dash to make it look less bland.
Yeah, left like one big plastic piece.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. The HVAC and the radio is all blended into one.
Yeah.
So
there's just some things I like. There's little minor details like the font bugs me. The font for Camaro bugs me. The font for, I mean, Corvette got the edgier, crispier italics. You know what I mean? That's one thing that like European cars do better than American cars. Stupid little things like that. The stitching. You know, we got like the big baseball glove stitching. You know what I'm saying? Just some things that make it look very rude and crude that I think that they could have cleaned up and made it look better for us, but you know, it is what it is. Just like you said, it's minor details. 1 year gets this one, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
she is what she is.
I should probably go, buddy. She's running out of patience with me, so
Yep.
I'm stretching my luck at 3 hours.
Yes. 3 dude, 3 hours. That's a record for me. Jeez. Okay, fellas.
I will work on Scott for you though, and
yeah, I appreciate you guys joining in. Thank you, Mark, for joining us. Don't forget to go check out CCFB Garage. He does a lot of awesome. He does a lot of legwork for us, digging up awesome content, doing the dirty deeds as far as like finding the deals and all kinds of awesome Camaro content. So
just keep doing what you're doing, buddy. I mean, you know,
yeah, we're gonna plug away.
It'll sort itself out. It'll sort itself out eventually, but
yeah, well, I haven't found the right one yet, so we'll keep looking. We'll keep kicking them rocks over. So, okay, fellas, appreciate you guys hanging in with us for 3 hours. So,
thanks for having me.
Well, you guys subscribe to the channel. Go subscribe to Mark's channel. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, you guys have an awesome day. We'll take care.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.